days. One of these days. I'll get it.
I'm gonna fix that eventually. All right, today, fun day. Linux. Big thing with that is documentation. DWM, I'm really coming into where I almost, on my inside computer out here, I'm always in it. Even when I'm in Windows, usually that's just a VM I'm running these days. Speaking of Windows, big news today, which I haven't completely verified this yet because when I did it, I was still able to make a local account, but I guess that's out again. Microsoft apparently, according to multiple news sources, the big word of the day, I'm sure you're gonna see about a gajillion YouTube videos. I'll probably make one just because it's super easy. No more local accounts, period, for anybody that uses the out-of-box experience. So you get your Windows, you load it up, you have to create a Microsoft account. At least that's what the reports are. Having said that, there's always workarounds. But the big thing is the removal of bypass NRO, which was already done in 24H2. And then we've been using the start, local CXH or whatever it was to get a local account on. That worked in 24H2, but apparently in 25H2, they're removing both methods. We'll see once a general release happens. I mean, it's pretty much there. And what I saw when I tried it, I still was able to do it. So I was like, okay, maybe down the road, but most outlets right now are reporting that that's gonna be the case. So, yeah, no, it's just one of those things. It's in the preview build right now. So yeah, here in the next month, when the preview build goes into the release, we'll see. I don't really care either way. It's like, hey, most times I'm always using unattended install, which you can always do a local account using that because it's just baked into Windows. Just out-of-box experience we're talking about. So the normies out there that don't use their own ISO for building Windows has to do the Windows a Microsoft account, which, whatever. Again, I don't care. Most of my Windows these days is just through a VM. I rarely boot in from a bare metal perspective to Windows, mainly just because I don't like it. And I think maybe for gaming every once in a while I might do it, but these days I'm playing games that are typically readily available and working in Linux without not too much modifications. And I really do like the Linux utility and other things that I've been working on. So anytime I'm like need to mod out a game, like a good example is Fallout 76, I was just like, oh, screw it, I'll just make my own scripts and everything, so it makes it very easy to mod. And I'm just gonna keep doing that because I enjoy my time in Linux. Hence, Linux Day is getting expanded to Tuesday, Thursday, just for my sanity. And then Mondays, man, I thought the Monday Windows stream went really well yesterday, and I think I'm just gonna move where we're changing the schedule around again. I know, shocker. But Monday's gonna be Microsoft Monday. Everyone hates Monday. Let's just throw Microsoft in Monday. I think that works best. And then we'll leave Tuesday, Thursday for Linux. I think that's just kind of what I'm thinking of on that side of things. What happened to Mac Thursday? Last Mac Thursday they did a lockdown in universal controls, and it requires user intervention for the Mac util. I hate that. And like, I don't know, man. Big corporations, it just seems like they just make life worse for everybody. And Apple, I guess, is just more of the same in that regard. Even worse than Microsoft, believe it or not, because there's just no way around that problem I was running into. I still haven't found a way around it. It requires the user to interact to set a setting, a system setting. And they do it from a security standpoint, but it's just super annoying. And I'm like, God, I just hate it. So I thought I'm not going to abandon the Mac util, but it can't set the settings I want to set without, I can pull up the page for them using Swift programming language and things. It's just not a good solution though. It's not. It's just a terrible user interface. And it's just very demoralizing to go, that's what Apple wants you to do. And there's no way around setting the system settings other than pulling it up and saying, click here. So for now, I'm gonna do like Mac once a month. We'll mix it in when it makes sense, but I'm not gonna dedicate a day every week to it. I just want to jump off a bridge, and I just you know, I enjoy having a life. So I'm just not gonna do that. You know, so for my own sanity, we've got a kind of 86, the weekly Mac. I can't do a day of Mac every week. Yeah, I'll mix it in maybe once a month, I'm thinking. Just for shits and giggles. It'll be fine. So yeah. That's the big tech news of the day. We'll jump on the desktop and get into DWM, kind of show you what I've been doing offline and kind of expand everything going there. A big thing with that right now is I've got it to a spot where I'm using it all the time, every waking moment almost. And I really just want to make that more accessible for everybody out there. And that's kind of the thought process. Is there a way to put a personal background picture in Linux? Yeah. You can do that in multiple different ways. You could play Silksong on Mac Day. That's an improvement anyways. Facts, Peter. Oh man. But yeah, let's get on the desktop. Let's take a look at it. It should be pretty fun. Man, and big shout out to Peter. He was the original person that got me into DWM. Was that 2 years ago now, Peter? Or was it 3 years? I can't remember. All the years blend together these days. But my goodness. Oh, I just absolutely love it. It's just the best. There is no better. Omarchi? No. DWM? Absolutely. Oh my God.
All right, so. But yeah, God, it's so good. From a whole bunch of different ways. I like the CoffeeZilla studio. Actually, I watched CoffeeZilla. He did he showed out his studio build, and I was like, oh, I like it, but I'm still just using OBS. He uses Ximetry. It's a really crazy setup, which Ximetry could be in a live studio setup, but I don't want to spend like $5,000 to $10,000 to do that. So I'm like, maybe one day, but I don't know. The green screen would look a little better probably in Ximetry, because right now I have to do like an opaque and a whole bunch of other settings. So but I do like it. I definitely stole some stuff from Coffee. He's good. Wow, the other mic sounded so much better. Really? You think the other mic sounds better, Jalopy? All right. Peter. Oh man, let me gift you a sub. Let's oh, I can't do, well, let's see if I do that. Yeah, there we go. Here you go, Peter. Since you're the one that give me DWM, I'm gonna gift you a sub here. Don't want you having to deal with Twitch ads. Speaking of which, I gotta take that stupid Twitch ad out.
To do the binds.
All right. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Alrighty, now let's get into it. I think we're good. Which capture card do you use? I use a second-hand Magewell capture card. Love Magewell. They have 4 HDMI capture card right at like 1080p 60, I think it is. And it is just the best. Magewell by a mile for all capturing. Everybody else just isn't very good in comparison. And Magewell is completely agnostic. Whatever you're using, you want to use, well, obviously not Mac, but well, they have a Mac component that would work. Actually, you could do the USB version, but needless to say, Magewell, you can do Linux, Windows, whatever. Does a great job. Nice. All right. You inspired me to set up my own DWM config. Works amazingly well. Yeah, once you get it set up, it's great. That's the thing about DWM. It's just the setup. That's what I need to get people in on and kind of expand how that setup works. Let's go to DWM. Let's do a git pull. What do we have? Okay, so we were changing some of the battery and laptop configurations, which we can just do laptop battery. That was an addition. I still got to test this out. I got to pull up my old Linux laptop and work on brightness and battery modules. They are there. I just haven't tested them. And then we also, so this is the Linux book. I've been working on it because more and more people will switch to Linux. It's just we need to get a good on-ramp for folks to go to Linux. And I think Omarchy is what a lot of people have been using this, which is great if that's kind of what you want. Like some Windows users want kind of like that flashy animations and all the Wayland stuff. But if you want just pure performance and stability, I think DWM is just so much better in every way once you get it set up. Because Omarchy kind of has some weird bugs to it, and I just hate the Wayland base. It just doesn't feel great to me. But I think it's great for many people. I think many people coming from Windows will still be like, oh, Omarchy's amazing. And I think that's great. Especially like Mac users as well coming to Omarchy. That's great. I just want to create kind of what he did here, but just a completely different foundation with DWM. And I want to get a manual, so to speak, kind of set up for it. Because right now, this is what I have. Installation. How to install it, right? So I kind of want to do that as well. He has nice little basics on the setup. Mine's going to be way, way, way easier because it's just going to be quick. And I also stole like, he has these web apps. Like if I do this, I can just pull those up. Totally jack that from DHH as well. So quite a bit more stuff. Yeah, it's probably not the best for a total novice, and I think we can do a lot better job for that, for a starting spot. I just gotta, even mine's not gonna be great for a complete beginner. A lot of people are just gonna want like a KDE type style setup, which is, I think Mint and Bazite, I think would probably be the best for gamers out there. I think that's kind of my two favorites to recommend to complete noobs. Like if you don't know anything and you've only ever used Windows all your life, probably Bazite for gamers, and then Mint for folks that just want like a web browser kind of style. And then if you want more efficient productivity and window management, DWM's where you go. Or Omarchy if that's your jam too, depending if you want the extra flair. So I don't know. I think it's like wine. Everyone has their own taste. It's very true. It's just, yeah. and I do agree with this from Peter, Wayland is just too broken by design. And I agree with that. I think it's completely broken. There's no AMD Adrenalin software for Vibrance color settings. Anybody know a fix? I think we could use Radeon settings. We can test it out. I think I actually have a Radeon card in here, so we can actually take a look at that. Catchy OS for gamers. Bazite's someone absolute completely new to Linux. Yeah. I think Catchy OS for the power user gamer that is really technically advanced. I think Catchy is a good spin. Even though I don't particularly like it myself, I still like Arch. I will say, I'm thinking about switching to the Catchy OS kernel. Now that you've said that, I think we will. J-Students had performance problems with Bazite. Maybe Catchy OS better for newbies. It's hard to say, though. God, the problem with Catchy OS is newbies will get in trouble too quick and break it and over their knee. It's just going to be awful. So I don't want to recommend something that's not atomic or immutable. It has to be immutable at some point for a noob, because noobs will just break it. They're going to just follow all the different guides online and just screw it all up. It's just the nature of the beast when you come to Linux. And I want to avoid that for newbies so they have a good period. Where Bazite, it's hard to break. Really hard to break for a noob. I can't run Rust-esque well. Yeah, I can't run Rust-esque, Synergy. There's a lot of other stuff from Wayland that you can't do. So true. Spaceballs. Great movie, by the way. But for someone technically adept, I would say Catchy OS is decent. But I mean, it's hard though for me. I still love just basic, what everything's based off of. Everything I just said. If you really are good with Linux, you're not going to want to use any of this crap. You're just going to use Arch. You're just going to want to use pure Arch Linux. And if you're good with Linux, or let's say you want a stable, non-rolling release, you're going to want to use Debian. I don't think there's anybody that's really been in the space for a long, long time that just would go with some weird offshoot distribution. That's where I think people screw up with Linux, is they're like, oh, there's just too many distributions, man. There's like thousands of distributions. I'm like, yeah. But at the end of the day, like 99% of them are like either Fedora, Arch, or Debian, or some variation of that, where they just add a couple extra things to it. But I mean, they're literally just 3 distributions in my eyes, and different configurations of those 3 different distributions. Yeah. No problem, Gallagher. People looking to leave Windows aren't those long-term Linux users in most cases, though. It's hard to say. So I was a lifelong Windows user up until the late 2010s, and I didn't like Mac. Still really don't, but I use it for some stuff. And Linux was my server operating system. I whenever I wanted to do a special thing, I'd be like, cool, I'll just throw up a Linux box and just do a headless CLI, and then SSH into it, run all my crap from that. And then Windows would be my main base of operations. So a very advanced super power user, as much as you can be in Windows, is what I was. And I didn't want to use Linux. I didn't want to use Mac. I wanted just all my stuff. And I knew about both, and I was familiar with both. But the thing that pushed me to Linux wasn't Linux. It was Windows. And we see that way more today than when I was doing it, because at the time it was Windows 10, and I didn't like how the aggressive update cycle wasn't there. So it's not that someone sees Linux and goes, ooh, I really want to go to Linux. They go, oh my God, I just can't deal with Windows anymore, and I don't want to be locked into Apple's ecosystem. What are my options? you only have one option: Linux. That's it. There is no other option. If that is you, then you will end up in Linux, whether you want to be in it or not. Microsoft will force you out of Windows because you'll just be like, I'm tired of this crap. I don't want to deal with Microsoft accounts. I don't want to deal with AI constantly copying everything that I do on my computer and reporting God knows what to God knows who. I don't want to go into Apple's ecosystem where they lock everything down and it has to be on specific hardware and I'm limited. I want something where it's my system. I'm free to do whatever the hell I want, whenever I want. And guess what? That's Linux. That's only Linux. That's what Linux offers. It's not that you see it and go, oh, I want that. There is no other option. And before someone says FreeBSD, it's not really an option. Come on, guys. The FreeBSD devs don't even use FreeBSD as their desktop. So, I mean, it's fun to look at, though. And maybe one day that will become another option. But right now, there's really only Linux. Guys, I mean, it's just, that's how it is. You know, it's not like it's some special like year of the Linux desktop. Oh my God, there's something new here, and then everyone's gonna switch because of that new thing. No, people switch because they get tired of the thing they're on, and are alienated by the big corporations, whether that is Apple, whether that is Microsoft. You fall into one of those camps, and eventually you'll move to Linux because you get tired of them. That's just facts. It's gonna take a long time though. It's not like a year or two type deal. It'll take you a while to learn it. All I'm trying to do is help that transition when it happens. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Windows 11 is helping people switch. Like, the reason I use Linux is because of Microsoft. There is no other reason. Well, so this is changing too. Yag says over here in YouTube chat, if you're an online gamer that just uses Windows though, no game company cares about Linux still or Mac OS. Well, Mac OS alienated itself with forcing developers onto Metal and then also discontinuing 32-bit support. So Mac's not even an option for gaming companies. Even if they wanted to develop on Mac, the best they can do is make a Mac client using Metal like World of Warcraft. But it has to be a massive game where they can pour in 20 devs to do that, and they don't care about it. Most gaming companies are like, screw that, we're not doing it. So really it's Linux and Windows. So no game company cares about Linux still. False. This is actually changing, specifically with the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck has revolutionized handheld gaming and also kind of compartmentalized a lot of the bloat of Windows. So when you game on Linux, which guess what? I do more and more every year. It's just a better experience because all the launchers are compartmentalized in their own wine bottles, or proton bottles in this instance, which is just a fork of wine. I digress though. It's a good experience, especially in SteamOS with the Steam Deck. Now, did I have an update on this? Oh, I need a look. I think I switched my motherboard last time I launched. I don't really play much games out here, but let's see. It's slow and frame rate dropping. I mean, we can test it out if you guys care. But yeah, like the games that I'm playing right now, some Age of Empires 4 from occasionally I'll jump in and do maybe an online match or two. Fallout 76 I've been playing a bunch lately. Some of this Lord of the Rings Online I've been playing every once in a while as well. And like most of this though, these are the games I play probably for the past year, these are things I've loaded up and played. I know, don't judge me. Don't judge me on my gameplay. I know some people are like, well, I have to have Battlefield 6 with secure boot in Windows. And I'm like, I get it. I get it. You're not the target audience here. But more and more people are going to want that portable experience where it's actually pretty good. And it's nice having all these compartmentalized. So when I start up my computer, guess what? Even with all these having different launchers and different crap, all of it's still containerized in their own little thing because of how Linux works. Where on Mac or actually on Windows, it's not like that. Usually you get a whole bunch of extra launchers and crap. Oh, that's Battle.net, so you got Battle.net installed. Oh, that's EA, so you got, oh God, I don't think Origin's still around. But oh, that's, jeez, Uplay with all the Ubisoft and all of that extra crap. All this gets compartmentalized on Linux, so you don't have to worry about that. It's great. So there's a world where that works, and also Steam Deck has, I think, 2 or 3 million units sold now. So now there's a sizable dedicated audience that's trapped on Linux. Much like people are trapped on Windows, there's actually a portable millions of gamers that are trapped on Linux. I know you know a lot of super people, so game companies have to pay attention to it. Peter, thanks for joining the YouTube members. So that it's not inconsequential anymore. It's not like, oh, that's not going to be a thing. There's going to be companies that don't want that audience. Like competitive shooters, I couldn't see really being a thing on a Steam Deck. So people aren't going to care about that. So those can just do easy anti-cheat or just exclude Linux clients altogether. I think that's going to be a trend going forward. As you saw, like Apex Legends notoriously was Linux compatible, but now they're like, no, we're not going to bother with that support anymore. And they dropped Linux compatibility. But other than competitive shooters, I'm struggling to find a game where it's like, I have to be in Windows. There's a couple nuances to that. I think some heavily modded games, such as, like, I remember playing Final Fantasy 11, and I could do that on Linux, but I had to essentially do all my own tooling. And I have the capabilities of doing that, but many people would not, because I would do, like, DLL injection and other things to mod out that game. And I know that's probably a more niche example, but it is an example of something where someone might stay on Windows. So, not my fish. Thanks for the prime. Yeah, Skyrim and most of those other games work just fine on it, and it's fine. Like an article about optimizing, you should read it, especially a part about asynchronous savings. Oh, okay. Let's see what you got here. Linux Adventures. God, this game looks old. Factorio. People say they love it though. I should try it out. Looks like my style of game too. Ugh, Wayland. The antiquated and insecure X11. Is it though? Oh wow. Look, this game even goes between Wayland and has Xorg. Wow. Rare you run into this. Oh, you got scaling, that's why. Yeah, scaling on Xorg sucks. There's no doubt about that. Resizing seizures. I actually use GameScope, and GameScope kind of takes away all that. Most of those problems for me. I wonder if they even talk about GameScope in here, which is another Valve invention, but I absolutely love GameScope. Clipboard. Okay, asynchronous saving is what you wanted me to take a look at. Many of you may not be aware that it uses saving for your game in the background without freezing while it does so. Features tucked away in hidden settings and only works in macOS and Linux. The one great thing about taking advantage of the platform features of the game would be it's available to us if we simply went through Proton. Asynchronous saving works using the fork syscall, essentially a duplicate of the game. The primary instance, the one you interact with, continues playing while the newly forked child runs a save process. Oh, that's cool. So Windows doesn't have this, but in Linux and Mac OS you could also do this because they're both Unix based. Very cool. Yeah. All right. Hey, you know, I always tell people, use what works best for you. Whatever that is, that's what you should use. Is there a reason people hate Wayland? I probably would be in this camp on the Wayland hate. The big thing I hate about Wayland is the tool set and the bloat that comes with it. At the end of the day, most people wanted to go to Wayland because it should have been coded better than Xorg. But in reality, it requires a ton of tooling, just tons and tons of program, way more software than Xorg requires. So Wayland is actually more bloated in almost every single compositor implementation that I've seen compared to any Xorg configuration. So essentially Wayland, even though it should be coded better, it's not, because of all the extra crap and all the implementations of compositors on Wayland are simply badly implemented. The best of these, I think, is probably Hyperland. And it's still just one dude, you know, occasionally there's another contributor there, but for the most part, it's just Vaxry. And he's done a pretty good job, but it's just not very polished. And there's a lot of crap that goes with it. Now, and that's not to say that Wayland doesn't have its place. Wayland does have better scaling, as we saw in some of those screenshots I just showed. It does have like 4K support, HDR support, variable refresh rate support. Those are the big things you get with Wayland. Now, I don't really care about any of that for me, so why would I bloat up my system with a bunch of packages that I don't need or use? So that's why I don't like it. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, Omarchy is based on Xorg and Hyperland, or not Xorg, Wayland and Hyperland, and I don't like that foundation. I think it's a bad foundation. I don't think Wayland's very good. I think you sacrifice too much to get those features for me. So that's why I don't like it. Would you say Wayland is more secure than Xorg? I would. I think that's also a thing. But if someone has access to my machine, I don't really care about the security aspect of that at that time. If they come into this room, the last thing I'm worried about is whether or not my window manager or compositor at this point is more secure than Wayland versus Xorg. I got bigger fish to fry in that instance. And yeah, no, but Wayland is more secure. There's no doubt about that. It's just also less compatible because of the more secure. Again, with security, you have convenience and you have security. Which do you choose? Well, Xorg is a hell of a lot more convenient.
Yeah, well,
but it's also less secure. So that is true. Dark, thank you for the tier 1. Much appreciated. Yeah, Vaxry did good work on a bad foundation with Hyperland. I agree with that. I think that's also very, very solid. So it just depends. Like, I hate saying this is good, this is bad. I know the internet is just a binary choice a lot of times. Good, bad, this good, that bad. Windows bad, Linux good. You know, there's all this stuff out there, but it really depends on you as the person. What's the best tool for you? I'm trying to tell you what's good about Wayland, but also what I don't like about Wayland and why I don't use it. It's not like it's politically against my moral foundations. Like there's the, believe it or not, there's a very vocal minority, and these are just brain dead retards in my opinion, where they're just like follow whatever influencer or news that they see and go, oh, well, these people are like that. I don't care about any of that. Technically speaking, hey, this is what works best. That's what I'm gonna use. You know, and that's just it. Use what works best for you is what I'm saying. And that's how you should be. Anywho, yeah, let's see Bazite versus Catchy. I want to try the Catchy style things as well. But I definitely discourage people from falling into the hype or just saying, oh, Titus says Xorg is better than Wayland. Well, it's better for me, but that might be not the case for you. You might love HDR support. You might need, you might have $1,000 Samsung Odyssey monitor with HDR and variable refresh rate that you might use, and I don't have any of that, so I don't really care about it. Well, Wayland would probably be a better choice for you in that regard. So again, take what makes your system and how you like to do it, and then implement it from that. So that's the thing. I would say. I'll take advice from anyone, even Twitch chat. You know, you'd be surprised. Twitch chat is actually more often right than wrong, especially in comparison to like Chat GPT. There's been many times I've done something on Chat GPT and Twitch chat's like, no, don't do that. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. Tomorrow's headline: Titus declares war on Wayland. I just don't like it, you know, and I've given my reasons. I think that's fair, but I like Xorg better. You've never shown how to enable FreeSync. Important to do a tutorial or on Debian. I think do I even have FreeSync in here? Let's go. Oh, you know what? I don't think I ever did it FreeSync on this.
Yeah, well,
what are we at? 120. Great, thank you for the prime. Let's just do FreeSync really fast because some people do want that. FreeSync, Xorg. And actually, yeah, so this does add variable refresh rate to Xorg. Option variable refresh true under section device block. And let's
yeah, well,
that.
The dude abides.
Tar, thanks for the prime. So we're on an AMD GPU. We'll create the xorg.conf. We'll do a section device. NVIDIA, you could actually write this directly using NVIDIA settings. So if you had an NVIDIA card, you can do it a little different. It can actually create all this for you. But we're not on NVIDIA, so such is life. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So you got screen, but the screen is for specifying that. Make a xorg.conf file in your monitor. Add the path for the custom EDID file that you have edited. Really? Do we want to try and add variable refresh rate to the... I mean, sure. That sounds like a fun deal. All right, so let's grab device. Oh, what do we have? Peter actually just pasted it all in there. Section output identifier AMD match. Really? That's all you need? Huh. Yeah, you could do it with a number. We could just do that on xorg.conf as well, Peter. We'll do it as a number, though. So, just to showcase this, let's just go sudo invim 10 dash. We'll call this AMD FreeSync.conf. We'll paste this in, and
Yeah, well,
let's
the dude abides.
Wise guy, thanks for the prime. Let's go output class identifier, match driver, GPU. Driver, okay, but this has to be, this is a little different here. Section, this looks, okay, here we go. Match driver and where are the line breaks in this sucker? So option I know is going to be its own line. Driver is going to be its own line. So match driver, is that a thing? I don't think match driver is. Maybe. And then in section is going to be back here. Yeah, I know. You can't use line breaks. Sad. Sad. Well, it's IRC. To be expected. So then that looks pretty good. Section output class. Identifier AMD match driver. That looks a little bit wrong to me, though. Let's consult the documentation. Oh, read the manual. Let's take a look. Let's go xorg man manual. Now let's go section. Where's our section break? Let's take a look at our table of contents, platforms, options, configuration. First, this is the order of operations. It does everything. Okay, that's fine. These are the options that you can do. I want to say yeah, that's not right. Let's go xorg. Section. Could just do frame buffer, TTYSH. All right, let's look at the local share.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Dan, thank you so much for the gifted sub, brother. Let's go cd.local, share, xorg. These are just the log files. Last edited log file would be October 3rd, xorg. Oh, no.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Jimmy, thanks for the tier 1. Let's go xorg 0.log and just take a look at that.
Yeah, well,
Oh, this is back when I had an
To do the
NVIDIA too.
binds.
Whew. Okay. No, it's not what I wanted. I just want to look at the configuration section here. Keyboard identification. You'd think it would be in the Arch Wiki, but I could be wrong there. Yeah, I'll probably just do a reboot, Peter. Once all done, said and done, just to make sure. Okay, section, input, class, identifier, driver, match product. That looks right. So yeah, I think what you gave me is exactly. Let's double check the driver being used as AMD GPU really fast. Let's do LSPCI. And we're gonna go KNN. And then let's look at our driver right there. Boom. Okay, cool. So we got the 7800 XT here. We are using kernel driver AMD GPU. And that is looking good. So that should technically work. Now, if I quit out of DWM, will it relaunch Xorg? Or do I need to do a full reboot? Hey, we're on hype train. Wow, all right. Gift one sub for a reward. What's that do? Sorry. Sidetracked. Let's see. I don't get it, but whatever. I don't understand Twitch at all.
Yeah, well, to do the binds.
Also, freely switch between Wayland and X11. There's no harm in having both, just a bit bloat. Yeah, I mean, I've done both, so you could switch back and forth. I know, it's awful. I would highly recommend not having XDG desktop portal on your system if you use Xorg. So there's some harm to using X-Wayland. Yeah, I guess I see that. Is it possible to have a kernel anti-cheat working in Linux? It's all based on the publisher, Tan. So like the big thing that most people miss is it's not that Linux is not compatible with your game, like Battlefield 6, for instance, or Call of Duty. These are two very good examples. Anti-cheat is actually there. They can just literally tick a box and then it would play on Linux. Same with Destiny is another one. And Destiny actually was Linux compatible. If people remember Stadia, the Google iteration, that was actually Linux based, and Destiny worked great on Google Stadia because they worked with Bungie, the direct developer. But these publishers don't want it to work on Linux specifically. It's literally a tick box, but they don't want it to work on Linux for whatever reason. And that could be maybe back in, you know, we could go tinfoil hat here and go, there's some shady cabal, you know, behind all this that wants to make sure we all stay on Windows and stay in our good little spots of the world. You know, the evil elites that rule everything. Or it could just be simply they're like, oh, I don't want to support it. I don't want to mess with those Linux folks. Or they can think, oh, those Linux folks are pretty technically adept and our anti-cheat kind of sucks regardless. They're probably going to just hack it and then we're going to have more cheaters to deal with. Probably not worth it. I think it's probably a little bit of all of that. You know, you can pick your poison, option A, B, or C on that. There's probably some truth behind each one of those of why we don't have 100% compatibility, but there isn't a fourth option that's just like Linux needs to get better or Linux needs to have this. No, it's all there. The structure's there. It's just publishers Do they want it on Linux? Do they not want it on Linux? And yeah, that's the gist of it. Oh, what's this? I don't think we've ever gotten that. Oh, we got a new emote. Let's share it. Whoa, choo choo. That's hilarious. Anyways, but I think that's the for the evil elites theory. Fair. It's a fun one. But I think it just depends on what you got going on. All of the above. I literally do think it's a little bit of all of the above on those theories. It just depends on the certain ones. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, Steam Deck, anything that can play it on the Steam Deck, now you can't ignore it. It's millions of users at this point. And, you know, I use my Steam Deck at least 3-4 times a week. That's crazy. It's like a 4-year-old device at this point, and I'm still using it 3 or 4 times a week. So it's kind of amazing. That's awesome. I didn't. Thank you, Gray Fox, for letting me know. I'm looking to sell my Steam Deck. I'm looking for the Steam Deck 2 whenever that comes out. That'd be kind of cool. And I'm like, oh man, I'm tempted to get the newer one that's about to drop. What was it? The Legion Go X or whatever. I don't know, but it's so expensive. I'm kind of like, but man, it would be nice having a little bit bigger screen, a little bit faster. But I was like, no, don't fall. It's a trap. It's a trap. Literally, the Steam Deck plays everything I play. I don't need that. Even if I did need something that didn't play on that, I could always just stream it using Moonlight. Don't need it. But I might buy it. Yeah. Chris, I have a question. Is it normal to face bullying on the internet when I mention that I use Arch, by the way? Absolutely. 100% you should be bullied if you say I use Arch, by the way. You should be pointed at and laughed. Very, very common. I probably was part of that bullying. You might miss the biggest advantage of the Steam Deck. It's a PR media vehicle. It's true. Yeah, I can see that. But in the future, it might be a bad side of globalization. Doesn't mean it's elitist. Why don't you use Mac or something that changed? Being pointed. Yeah. It's not black and white as many people always like to say. Shades of gray, everybody. Shades of gray with everything you read. Whether it's news, whether it's gaming, whatever it is, there's shades of gray to everything. Is the Microsoft local account being removed? Well, it'd make a great headline where I could be like, Microsoft's forcing everybody on Microsoft accounts. However, shades of gray. We can always use an unintended install and always get our local accounts back that method. And honestly, we could probably do control space user passwords too and manually create a local account after doing the Microsoft login and then delete the Microsoft account off the system. There's other ways around everything. Again, it's never black and white. Always remember, anything can be fixed or worked around. It's just like you might not like the workaround is the catch there. And they might make it harder to do the thing, but don't ever think something can't be done. That works both ways too, good and bad. Okay, let's test this really fast. I think we're looking good for the input class here. God, I hate closing out and rebooting. Alrighty, let's do it. One last check in Vim, and we're gonna check out that FreeSync variable to refresh true. Section output class, identifier AMD, match driver. Oh, that looks good. Wait, there's a test. Test xorg conf. Let's test it. Couldn't remember the test command. If you only want to make sure the syntax is valid, you can go sudo xorg conf retro no reset :1. Is that a thing? Has anybody ever used these? Is that 2 hyphen? No, just 1 hyphen, huh? Let's see what the help looks like. What? Is Jippity right for once? All right, let's give it a whirl, man. All right. And then what was the other one? Retro no reset 1. What the hell's retro do? I think I might have made that one up. Maybe not. Okay, retro. Start with classic stipple and cursor. Okay. What's no reset do? Don't reset after last client exits. And then :1's going to just be the display. Interesting. Has anybody ever done this for testing? No reset, :1. All right. Cool. Wow. How about that? That worked. Slight problem. None of my hotkeys work. But that did work. Oops. All right. Close that out. How cool. So then we can see any of the warnings we get from this. Could not resolve that. That's for my DWM probably. Everything else looks good though. So let's give it a reboot. Yeah, that's just a hotkey that I don't technically have on this keyboard. That I have in my conf.h. All right. Well, I tried to set the special keys to be universal, Peter, as I know some people do have keyboards with those special keys. So the idea behind it was specifically to make a universal configuration. So my inside PC does have those keys, and I gotta say it has multi-monitor and it works well. Multi-monitor support in DWM is really tricky to get going, but I've got it going pretty well in there now. So there's my Synergy, which doesn't work on Wayland. And there's that. We're good to go. So now we should have, is there a way to test if we have let's just go restore. Well, let's go restore. My bad. I should have closed out of this. Oops. That's the one problem with like resetting. It's like, oh, now I gotta set up my chat again. Boo. All right, cool. Let's test. Test if variable refresh works. Check for VRR. Okay. That's strange. Oh, it depends on the monitor. So I probably have 4 inputs to this monitor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Variable refresh is on the 4th one, which is the last one here. VRA capable. Ah, cool. All right, never mind. So that's one less thing Wayland can do. You can do it on Xorg. I just never bothered to do it until now. Oh, that's cool. You could also just set it directly with xrandar. That's probably a little bit easier than the way I did it through a comp file. Just go set variable refresh 1. So if we look at this, probably the way to do it, let's go into screen. I have this main that I use, and you can see DP1, 2 off, HDMI 1 off, HDMI 2 is what I'm using. And it says just do set via. Let's see if that works. And just go main. No. HDMI 2. That didn't work. I think it's something different with xrandar. Let's see. I think our syntax is wrong. No, I only have one monitor for this. Output is variable refresh rate an option. You have refresh rate, but no VRR here. So maybe you do have to do it through the comp file. Interesting. Yeah. All right, good to know. Just to double check. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's see. xrandar only tells you if the display supports FreeSync. It does not tell you if it's enabled. It's in your log if FreeSync is enabled. Variable refresh rate true. Okay. Let's see if Xorg rewrote that out. Local share. Let's go Xorg. Is there anything that's been written today? Ooh, what is today? October 7th. Well, all this crap's old. Yeah, that's all junk. Well then, maybe in var log. Let's go LL. October 7th. There it is. Last edited file would have been this one. So let's just go nvim xorg 0 log. And you said variable. There it is. Bam. Option true. There you go. It's enabled and it's true. Cool. Before I forget all this crap, let's write an article. I didn't anticipate getting into this today, but you never know where chat takes you. But I don't ever want to like redo all this and relook it all up because that would just suck. Because it's kind of scattered. As most things in Linux, you just kind of like have to learn. All right. Probably, ooh, you know what? Let's go website. We're going to just make an article real fast, just in case anybody in chat wants to do this. Let's go posts, enable 2025, enable VRR, Linux, Xorg. Xorg, Linux. I'll just do Xorg. .conf, .end markdown, sorry. All right, now, yep. Let's go 8, delete that. Xorg is the tag. We're gonna go directly into publication on christitus.com. All right, this shows you how to enable Xorg in Linux. It is used for gaming and reducing screen tearing. Perfect. Enable VRR Xorg conf. Create a new file in doot etc x11 xorg.conf .d10 amd freesync.conf. Boop. All right, great. And then we're going to want to put that file in here. So let's just go retrieve cat, and we're going to go etc x11 xorg.conf .d10 amd freesync.conf. Perfect. Toss that all in there. Delete that. And simply boom. Reboot, and you will have it enabled. You can see this. You can verify this. Verify your monitor supports VRR with this command. What was the command we used? I don't remember. Oh, there it is. So is this command? Yeah. Perfect. All right. So then we got that. You can then verify it is enabled through the log file at var log xorg.0.log. And then we can give a little output here. Let's do that. Var log. Oh, actually, let's do it in them. My bad. And var log. Hey, what's up, Adam? Long time no see, man. Oh, man. Old Twitch. Well, I hear that. Variable. Yeah, look at that. Yank that. Come back here. And we're just going to paste that guy right here. Boom. And let's add actually dots at the beginning and end just to show, hey, perfect. There you go. So then we can always verify this at any time. This is everything we just learned, how to enable variable refresh rate in Xorg on Linux. What about NVIDIA users? Should we just ignore them and pretend like they don't exist? I don't have a way to test it, so we're just going to ignore them for now. Sorry, NVIDIA users. Just NV settings that, and then just add that in. Should be fine. Also change the driver. You could do like LSPCI. Do a K in, and then find what that was. Like when we did it, you notice how we did AMD. Just switch the driver out, and then I think it's NVIDIA for the match case. Again, I can't test it right now, so. Anywho, Lazy G. Oh, we need a thumbnail. Thumbnail this bad boy. All right, let's go variable. Actually, I kind of want to change that a little bit. Let's go variable refresh. And we need 800 by 450, I think it is. This is how much I just don't care about the thumbnails anymore. How many F's I give. Bam, there it is. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, great. Let's come into NVIDIA, VRR. I wonder, this might work. Let's just go file name, enable VRR -xorg. Does that work? Kind of curious. Sorry, I'm going a little bit of a side mission here. Did this work? Ah, cool, it did. Nice. So now, close enough. Hey. My thumbnails are getting worse and worse as I get older. I forgot to get rid of the walkthrough video. Anywho, we're almost there. And then I'll publish this. So if you ever guys need to see this in the future, you can just go christitus.com, enable VRR, and Bob is your mother's brother. And let's get rid of this right here. Gravy. Lazy G xorg VRR publish. And the website how-to article is done. I don't know how long that took, but not very long, I don't think. All right. That's cool. This is a cool little side project that we got off on. I now have VRR on the xorg here. Let's see, did I miss anything while I was doing that? Well, I will say NVIDIA's settings will launch into a GUI application, and I always do force full composition pipeline, and then I write out, and it'll create an entire xorg file, and you could probably just add in the variable refresh rate, and it would be pretty easy. I don't think it would be very complicated to take those instructions and just modify them a little bit. Don't you ignore me again, Titus. I've done some work to Linuto, mainly like repo and unit tests if you want to check it out. Yeah, Adam. I've been working more on old Linux utility, just been tossing stuff up. It's been fun, man. I've really been enjoying it. Do you still use Xorg, Chris, or you switched to Wayland altogether? Yeah, lazy dev, I'm kind of out on Wayland. Every time I try it, I just get angry, and I'm just like, Xorg just works better for me. Now, your mileage may vary. I just have noticed more bugs. I think the bug that forced me off of Wayland the last time is I was playing a game. I had my game loaded up, and I was just like, okay, I had my Steam up, and I was like, all right, let's play a game. Why is my Steam taking so long to launch? My inside system, it just auto launches, so I probably should do something with this to fix it, but anyways, it would launch up, and then when like Steam would launch, usually there'd be like some opacity to some windows, and even with 100% opacity, meaning there's no transparency effects, there would still be bleed through with the compositing that was happening on Hyperland, specifically Omarchi's implementation of it. And I went through all of my configs, switched everything and said, screw it, we're just going to put everything to 1, meaning no transparency. And I'd still see like bleed through. So I'd be in my library, I'd be in a game, and I could still see bleed through to windows behind the game. It was maddening, and I was like, I'm done. And then like the drag and drop capabilities. So like I was in like image editing. So like, let's say I was in here and I was like, oh, I want to drag and drop my headshot, right? So I'd come into here and be like, all right, let's make a stupid thumbnail, right? Be like, look at this. Drop that guy in there. That's scary. Works great in here. And then I just tried to do this in Wayland. A lot of times it would break. I'd have issues. And that's just creepy, by the way. Or delete this. No, discard changes. And yeah. Hey guys, I'm a bit of a noob to this OS stuff. I regrettably never reset my laptop, like fresh install, and now I'm stuck with a bunch of bloat. Nature of the beast, my friend. We've all been there. I have like 50% RAM usage on idle with nothing open. Just looking for a quick opinion. What should I do? Do a fresh install? Absolutely. A custom install with Windows 11? I mean, you can. I know a lot of people would just tell me to swap to Linux, but I don't really know how to use it. No, man, just do a clean setup. You'll be good for another 6 months to a year until the next feature update. So, yeah, Peter, the Pole, I would say that's why I created like MicroWin for the Linux or the Windows Toolbox, was because there's people that have to use Windows and that's what they know. Man, yeah, you got to do a fresh install. I think Windows users forget how crappy Windows is they just don't know any better, and that's okay. But just know, like, if you're a Windows user and you've been on it and you haven't reset or nuked and paved in like a couple years, you got to nuke and pave. You always got to do a fresh install on Windows. There's no fixing that broken mess. No matter how much you want to clean it up or whatever, stop being lazy. Just fresh install, reinstall your programs after backing up your data, of course, and go. I've been there. I've been the lazy guy. I don't say it to bring you down. I just say it as I've been there. I know what it's like. And just bite the bullet. I know you don't want to reset all that crap up. But do you want a slow system? And you don't want to switch to Linux? Well, you only got one option. Nuke and pave. Yeah, fresh install, Peter. In my experience, Windows needed a clean install once a year at a minimum, 2 times a year ideally. Yeah, it depends on what you're doing with your system. I could see a spot where it's every 6 months where you're doing that. If you're really changing and installing and uninstalling a lot of files. In my experience, I don't really use Windows except for like 1 or 2 things nowadays. So I'll redo it every 2 years usually, where I'll do a fresh install, because I really don't install too much in Windows. Most of my main tinkering and everything is done in Linux these days. So that's why. Yeah, it's just easier. What do you do at or for work? I'm an IT manager, so these days mostly just managing systems. There's little different systems, a little bit of a jack of all trades. So I do some telephony work. Like we used to contract out like a big, like a Ring Central type deal, and then they kind of jacked us around and started raising rates, as all software as a service type stuff. And I was like, screw it. So I put in, I think it was 3CX is what I used. I know 3CX doesn't have the best brand name, but if you do all self-hosted with 3CX, I think we pay maybe $20, $40 a month now, where we were paying like $1,000. Surely there's a CapEx for like some of the telephones that we had to buy, but I think we may have spent like $4,000 or $5,000 on some of the handsets to deck out 50 offices or something. It was menial, especially since I got them at wholesale pricing. So yeah, so telephony a little bit here and there, so I can redo people's phones. Still some Windows administration, like someone gets hired, fired. Sometimes I'll interact with that, although my replacement at my job typically takes care of most of that. Although I did one last week. And then I'm trying to think, some hardware acquisition, like switching out workstations or printers and that kind of crap. If I'm there and my better part is busy, I might help out with that. So a little bit of everything these days. I don't really, I kind of just only in there for 1 day a week. So I'm just like, what do you need me to do? I'm here for you. Whatever you need, well, that's what we'll do. So pretty straight up. I've been clean of Windows for 6 years. Peter, we should make a group called Windows Anonymous. Although I don't think I could join it because I still dump into Windows every week. I'm in Windows one way or another. It's so true. Oh man. I know. Sorry, Beige. We're moving on. That 3CS is fine. All telephony companies are terrible though. For NAS, true NAS these days. At work, I think we switched off of QNAP and Synology, and actually no, we still have an old Synology just sitting there for. They created a product called Active Backup for email. Like, there's some businesses, believe it or not, that don't back up their O365 email, which is beyond stupid. Like, trusting Microsoft for your backups is like the most idiotic thing, but many businesses do it. And their auditing for Exchange O365 is awful. It used to be decent, but it's gotten way worse in recent years, and they paywalled a crap ton of auditing. So I'm like, no, we ain't doing that. So what we have is like an old Synology box that sits there and copies all the email in and out of the business. So then if we never need to go, someone goes, oh, I didn't receive this email, or oh, I accidentally deleted this email, we can go into that box and just pull the email for them and say, here you go. And we also can see what was sent and not sent. So like, let's say you have a disgruntled employee that decides to delete all their email. Instead of having to dig through O365 and doing like a restore, which I don't even know if that's possible in 2025 with how O365 gatekeeps so much. We just do a local copy for all email, and then we just don't ever delete anything. And because storage is so cheap, you can get, I think I threw 60 terabytes worth of drives in there on that Synology, and with that one thing it's used for, I think it cost the company maybe 1,500, 2,000. No, it was a little more than that. Probably about 2,000 or 3,000. But that's like once every 10 years, I'll probably have to do something. Occasionally a drive might fail and there's like $200 or $300 cost, but negligible in this grand scheme of thing. That company makes millions per year. So they don't really care. They're just like, hey, that's really cool. You have all these functionalities. And that's kind of what I do on my day to day. Did you make a system to back and restore in case your system stopped working correctly? You can make a clean install. Typically I just copy all the important information. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. Any kind of, with that business, they're obviously having me there and also having another counterpart for a relatively small business, 50 to 100 employees. That's kind of excessive. But the reason why we're there is to just make sure you have like a white glove experience, meaning you should never have a problem. And so the cost is pretty high for running 2 employees with a whole bunch of local infrastructure. But the benefits is they never have to worry about downtime. And the thing that we're there for is to make sure everything's duplicated, meaning everything's replicated. Let's say the whole one server catches fire. We're still back up in 5 minutes because we'll just switch to the other box that's replicated. So everything's replicated. So if I buy 20 terabytes of usable storage, I'm buying 40 terabytes. I buy double everything. So then if something goes out, I just swap that other thing in. So then there's no downtime ever. Now you might be thinking, what about your DR and backup and those types of things? Typically there's a couple different ways to approach this. I'm kind of lazy, so technically I just take the easy route and use Backblaze, and it's so cheap, and I just connect into that. I think I just use Arclone, just send everything up to the cloud. We currently have, I think, 30 or 40 terabytes of usable storage up there. That's completely duplicated. So anytime a file is created on the network share, it's there. Anytime a file is changed on the network share, it's sent up there. So then not only if everything catches fire and let's say the whole building blows up, it's okay. We'd be back up probably within 24 hours, 24 to 48, depending on expedited shipping of the hard drive from Backblaze. But it would be pretty easy to replicate all of that. And everything's set up in a more generalized fashion. So there's no proprietary systems. There's no, hey, this one thing is something we might have to wait on. Everything's more generic. So anything can be swapped out and repaired. So it's like I really put a lot of thought into most of what we use. I always want a duplicate and also a cloud-based one. This is just so overkill in so many ways, and most businesses will never do anything like this. But again, like if you're going to pay me to do not much work, to be honest, I'm going to make sure you're damn well covered. So that's my day to day. Anyways, sorry, I don't know how I got on that rant. Since Adam's here, I wanted to take a look at LinUtil. Jeez, it's a hot mess of a stream. All right. You never know what you're going to get when you turn into one of my streams, because I don't even know what I'm going to do. All right. Oh, here we go. Adam's got some new stuff. What do we got here, Adam? Implement unit test for LinUtil core. This is my comeback PR. I came back. Hello. Celebration. What do we got? What was this issue? We should have a test suite, but we don't. I agree. So what are we doing here? We got Rust. I'm going to do a cargo test. No fail fast. Package Lin core. Changes to the config. What are we doing here? Ah, okay. Adding tests for the config. All right. I've never used Rust test, so we'll have to test this out. This looks cool. For the inner RS, what are we doing here? Pub create temp direct. Specifying setting temp direct with linutil scripts, and then get tabs. Before temp direct was actually set to the tabs as well. And then forget tabs. All right. Tab paths. And then here's all the configuration tests that were added. Interesting. And then for publish, do the test. Oh, neat. Let's try it out. Let's go approve. Adam's back. What's the lints here? Clippy don't like something. Float RS. Oh, what do you got here? We got a Clippy warning. Match expression looks like matches macro. Why is it flagging the closing bracket? There shouldn't be an error there. Last message on PR. Okay, let me look. I'm looking. Believe it or not, I've gotten better at them. Not much, but a little bit better. Does nobody update the Rust code here?
Well,
no, of course not.
do the binds.
Dan, thanks for giving Adam a sub, man. Yeah, if people don't know Adam, he's pretty responsible. Him, what was it, LJ? And there was like maybe one or two other people that touched the Rust code. But for the most part, these guys were the ones, while it was part of why it was written in Rust and why it's so good. Because the Rust base was very, very lightly touched by me. Most of these guys were the ones that actually created it. Clippy got mad for you not maintaining the Rust code, Chris. Should we add Clippy to the release workflow? Maybe that would help. Yeah, anything where I don't have to touch the Rust code would probably be a good idea. Let's see, what did you change? Okay, we got extra space for key event. I don't know why that didn't, but all right. And then for matches key code, enter, Q, escape. Alrighty. Looks good to me. Yep, just some spacing. Alrighty. Pretty self-explanatory. I like it. Cool. Let's squash and merge that. All right, that's merged. Let's test it. With anything, I usually just pull the project up. We grab the changes, cargo run, just double check it can build without it breaking. People are like, Titus, I didn't know you knew Rust. I don't. I just know Git. Kind of. And I can read code a little bit. But yeah, no. Adam's the one that everyone should be thanking on the Rust side of things. What else do we have here? All right. So now I bet you we can rerun these errors. Oh, look at that. All right, here we go. Will WinUtil now be ported to Win 7 as it's coming back to life? PRS, this is actually fake news. Windows 7 is not coming back to life. There's no chance in hell I will ever touch Windows 7 again. And people are an idiot if they use Windows 7 in 2025. Yes, I know I just called some people watching this stream an idiot, but if the boot fits, don't use Windows 7 in 2025. You're an absolute moron if you do. Full stop. That's like awful. Beyond awful. You're beyond help. Don't watch me. Get out. You're banned. No Windows 7 in 2025. You should never use it. Ever, ever, ever. Under any circumstance. No. End of discussion. No, I'm not. I mean, oh God, who was it that did the port of Windows 95 into? They did .NET to 95. Oh, I love the video. God, he was what a Chad. Who did that back port? I can't remember his name. But it was insane. God. He only does a video, like maybe 2 videos a year or something crazy. Anyways, I'm sure. I have a Windows 7 embedded on a CNC machine and no way to replace it. All right. Well, if you're using it on a CNC machine and it's not connected to the internet, you're forgiven. That's fine. Heck, there's some people still using Windows XP, just not connected to the internet. That's fine. But I'm talking about the people that like go back to Windows 7 and connect to the internet and then like, hey, I'm going to go check my bank account. And I'm like, oh God, it hurts. It hurts. Why? Why do people like that exist? All right, let's merge this. Comeback PR from Adam. Let's go. More unit tests. Probably break, but hey. It's air gapped, so it doesn't really matter. And the read-only file system, yeah, you're solid. There's nothing wrong with that. I think, God, what was it? Somebody said One Nation still uses, was it, I think it was Africa. It might have been India too. I can't remember, but they still use Windows 7 for their ATM terminals. That's wild. Or Windows XP for their ATM terminals. I couldn't remember, but it's like some archaic POS system. I'm like, bro, that is wild. Absolutely wild. Nice. Let's do those tests. I kind of wanted to check out those tests really fast. See what that new testing system that Adam just implemented is. Oh, nope, wrong one. My bad. Unit test, here we go. Yeah, this is what I wanted to check. So what's this do? It's just cargo test, no fail, fast, package linutil core. Is executable. Test auto exec. Test find command by name. Test get shebang. Test reconfig. Test get tabs. Oh, that's cool, man. So then if I screw something up in Rust, it'll tell me, hey, idiot. Well, you're changed now. We can't do a slash search. I believe that's there too. Or I can't read the config. That's neat. Do you recommend having anything like a time machine on Mac OS but on Windows, or an easy option for backup? Yeah, you know, I always liked a snapshot on Windows. Block-based backup is typically the best. System restore starting to be kind of old. So yeah, when it comes to that, I don't know how good System Restore will be in the future. It's already not great, but relying on System Restore is not, mileage will vary. And the fact they're bearing System Restore, I just added it to the WinUtil. So if you launch the WinDev branch of WinUtil, or has anybody had any problems with the latest version of that, by the way? Some new issue and PR labels. Cool. We'll get those done. 1142. Yeah, I'll do that right now too. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this WinUtil to stable. I know I said I was going to wait till Friday, but I think most people on Windows with 25H2 right there, I kind of feel like we should go ahead and push this to the public branch. Let me just check issues real fast, make sure nothing popped in. I don't really see anything. Yeah, this is from the stable branch. Yeah, let's just go ahead and push it to... Go ahead and push it there to stable. So here's the new release. Already run almost 1,000 times. I haven't heard anything negative about it. We're just going to go stable. I'll hear something pretty quick if something's wrong with the stable branch. And I don't want to... They say don't push to prod on Friday. I almost like to do it just because they say never to do it. Oh, you know, but I do need to re-sign the PS1 file. I'll do it later. It's all good for today. Yeah, we'll put that there, and then I will update that later. Anything else I'm missing here? Nope, we're good. All right, cool. Continuing on. Man, WinUtil. I hadn't worked on that in a bit. So, clean up issues templates and introduce new labels. Little autumn cleaning on our issue management for WinUtil. Oh yeah, Alfonso. Also, it's cool seeing all these guys still hanging around after all this bit. Usually, like with WinUtil, it's gone through. Oh geez, we've had probably 4 or 5 different iterations of like groups of devs that come in and have left with WinUtil. WinUtil, I mean, pretty much the original crew's still around, kind of just lurking. It's so cool, man. It's going on about a year, I think, since we created it. Although the WinUtil crew's been around for a long, long time. The current devs out there, probably because I got better at Git. I think some of the original devs of WinUtil, actually it was called Win10 script back in the day. I think some of them were like professionals, and I was just learning GitHub. And I think they were just like, this Titus guy, I can't with him. I'm moving on. So I think probably the first couple of years, like 2020 to probably 2022, 2023, I was so bad with GitHub, and I screwed up so many different PRs and different contributions made by other people that we probably saw a little bit more churn of the devs because of me learning GitHub. It was worth it though. I mean, we got there in the end. I think these were just labels, right? Nothing. Just the YAML. The yams. Oh, yeah. No more GitHub event issue user login. Nice. Appreciate that, madam. Well, what do they say? You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet, right? I haven't ever used a Mata for a backup solution. Veeam is usually what I use in business a lot. I'll be here till the end. Love to hear it. Hopefully you don't get tired of me and my shenanigans. Yeah, you learn GitHub when working on a team. I agree with this, Lazy Dev. Like, you have to be there, and I guess it's really hard when it comes to GitHub because you're going to disappoint people. You're going to disappoint a lot of people when you first start out. I know I did. And fortunately, because of the social media presence, I had a ton of devs just dumping all kinds of code and different stuff in my lap, and like learning to deal with it was so frustrating, but also rewarding. I do have some regrets though. Like, if I could go back and instill a couple nuggets of wisdom to my younger self learning GitHub, it would be, if you don't understand the PR, or at least have a good basis of what it does, close it. Absolutely. Also, I'm really thankful that Chat GPT didn't exist when I was learning GitHub, because the amount of crap I get nowadays, probably half the PRs I get is just slop. You know, I just saw one, what was it, a week or two ago? It was on a live stream and I reviewed it, and I was like, he was changing like the GUI, but WinUtil's roughly about 10,000 lines of code, bit on the bloated side already. And he was adding 3,000 lines of code to essentially make it look a little different. And I was like, what is happening? Like, it's okay to use AI or GPT or Claude, you know, nobody uses Grok. It's true though. It's okay to use these things, but you gotta double check it, and you gotta make sure it's not adding bloat. And a lot of times, if you just sit there and prompt your way through something, it's gonna end up being thousands of lines of code for something that should be like 50 lines. And that's the main issue I think I see most people struggling with that. Yeah. And AI is a great teacher. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think you could do it. Like, I was teaching my daughter the other day about AI, and I was like, one, don't use GPT. It's more wrong than it's right. Here's Claude. It's a lot better, typically. That was before all the Claude shenanigans. But I think some of that's also kind of played up by the YouTubers of today, where they're like, Claude's getting dumber. It's still better than GPT in a lot of instances. Especially like GPT-5 's so hit and miss, it feels like. I still feel like Claude's more consistent. I digress. But I was teaching my daughter, and I was like, yeah, instead of just saying, hey, what's the answer to this? Say, hey, show me the work to get to the answer, and give me like a study guide on what to look at so I can get the correct answer for these questions. And then that's exactly what she did. She prompted it that way, and then it spit out this really elaborate study guide. And then I was like, okay, you also got to add the word concise to it. Otherwise, it adds a bunch of fluff, and you're going to be sitting there reading forever. So I was like, make a study guide, make it concise, show me how to get the answers of these questions, but don't tell me the answers. And then she reprompted it, and then it spit out that, and she's like, wow, that's really good. And then she did it, and she was like, great. That was fantastic. I was able to get the correct answer, and everything worked great. But it's that type of thing. How to use it correctly is the big benefit or boon to AI. The downside is everyone thinks that it's going to get better, or it's going to know what's right and wrong. And AI is never going to get there. It's just not. I just don't ever see a world where it's like, hey, I'm just right 100% of the time. It's just not. It's a great idea machine. It's a great teacher in a lot of ways. But it's just not ever going to be like one thing to replace everything. It's a great tool, though. Don't get me wrong. It's a great tool. It's just not what people think it is, though. A lot of people, I'd say. Most of the majority badly misunderstand it. D4, thank you for the prime. Yeah. The next evolutionary step of AI, when it learns to say, I don't know. Gosh. I'm pinning that. I love that, Lazy Dev. I absolutely agree. Yeah, that 100%. That's what should happen if it could ever get there. We'll see. I'm skeptical it could get to the point where it says I don't know. Hopefully, you know, fingers crossed. That would be great, but I don't see it. I love that though. There's so many junior admins these days getting the PowerShell scripts from LLMs, and most of them are insane garbage that can be completed with much less code. I would say all of them can be created with much less code. I love still getting ideas from AI, but a lot of times I end up just saying, instead of using agent mode, I use ask mode a lot. And then I manually make the changes myself because typically, one, I'm usually working on bigger code bases in a lot of my projects now, to where it's thousands of lines of code, and to reiterate through all of that to just change a couple lines takes forever. And it uses up a crap ton of tokens. So like, why would you do that? So just use use ask mode a lot more than agent mode. You're going to learn more, and it's actually pretty good. You know, a lot of times I'm like, oh, that works. Or is that correct? But I usually, that's the very first thing I always ask, is that right? It looks a little off. Oh man. Did we ever get any DWM work done? I don't know. I feel like I did something. We did get some linutils. Good seeing Adam again. That was so cool. No DWM work yet. Okay, we got to do some DWM work, right? Is there anything from chat? Can anybody tell me in chat, what don't you understand, or what would you like to know about DWM that you just kind of are like, why? And then maybe we could start in on like a quick usage, maybe. Oh, there's some DWM Titus PRs in when you tell. Yeah. So let's see this. If you go DWM Titus, I have this right here. Now, let's go to GitHub. I want to, you know what? I'm going to add a basic usage guide. That's what we need to do. Docs. All right, let's do a poll up to date. Let's do an MVim chapter 1, getting started. Actually, let's just do 1-getting started. Markdown. Right. Perfect. One other thing to do. Let's go summary. Getting started. Boom. Now for getting started. Titus. First off, learn hotkeys. Learn the hotkeys for navigation. Key combo. It's I think it's, yeah. So if you do super key / all right. Super key plus / equals key binds hotkey to learn all keys. Oh, did someone have the audacity to rewrite it in Rust? Guess what? Oh no. Oh no, lazy. Don't you dare say someone made DWM in Rust. That would just be blasphemy. Heresy. Oh no. Ugh, I think I threw up in my mouth a little bit. No. That's not a thing. It's called RWM. Oh man, it hurts my brain. Yeah, nobody's gonna rewrite wine in Rust. Could you imagine? That would be insane. I mean, yeah, you know, more power to you. Where there's a will or way. That's the thing about Linux is like some crazy neckbeard somewhere will think up something and be like, this is better. And, you know, I might be like, that's crazy. But who knows? Here in a couple of years, maybe everyone will be using it. DWM and F#. Now we're talking with a .NET framework. Oh, yeah. I still love F#. F# has been my favorite language to write in, believe it or not. I don't know why, but I do love it. I mean, F# is just like a functional version of C#, essentially. There's not much to it. But C# was like, this is cool. But F# was like, oh, this is much more concise and readable and functional. So I was like, it's just C# but functional. And V language, is it new? The V programming language? Simple, fast, safe, compiled for developing and maintaining software. For building maintainable programs. Well, I like the premise. Bounds checking, no undefined values, no variable shadowing, immutable variables by default, immutable structs by default, option result, mandatory error checking, sum types, generics, immutable functions, argument by default, mutable args have to be marked on call, no null, no undefined behavior, no global variables. Oh, that's cool. Looks pretty new. Compiles native binaries without any dependencies. A simple web server is about 250 kilobytes. Wow. Nice. It's fast to see. Small and easy build compiler. I honestly don't mind. I know the Rust compiler is just absolutely insane, but I do like Cargo a lot. Like when it comes to Rust, it is so verbose with output. Yeah, I know it takes forever to compile crap, but I do like how it explains everything. Anywho, V20, that's pretty cool. C translation. V can translate your entire C project and offer you the safety, simplicity, and compilation speed up via modules. Man, that is pretty cool. Powerful graphics library, cross-platform library, GG, using OpenGL, Metal, DirectX. Man. Cross-compiling. I love cross-compiling these days. I might have to bookmark this. So the V programming language, it's only on 0.4. When did it come out? Has anybody done a DWM configuration of this? You know about the Joule language. I do not. It's a project I'm part of. Ah. Man, there's so many languages these days. It's kind of insane. So when did this come? Is there an oldest here? When was it created is the bigger question. 800 contributors. Damn. Oh, I don't need a new language. I haven't learned any other language anyways. But it does look kind of cool. Might have to give that a whirl on the next project. I could see myself having a good time with it. Oh, TWM. You know, I never really liked TWM though. Man, that's cool though. All right. Getting back to it. Sorry. Let's go. Super hotkey 1. This key. Let's see. What do we... Now for the dependencies, if you go into install, I think it pretty much should grab all the dependencies regardless though. What does that look like? Yeah, that's so cool. All right, let's do KBD 2. KBD. Was it like syntax? How did KBD was the... Yeah, that was the syntax. Okay. Let's just see on the update here how that works. I really do like the MD book project where available because it just kind of builds out how-to guides really, really well. And it's really strong, feature rich with like a search feature. You got really good theming, which I like. Light's not showing because I have dark mode enabled over here, but that's cool. I pointed out V language about 20 times to you before. You know, it takes about 20 times for me to look at something. Opens the full tutorial. Okay. Let me bookmark that, shall I? Let's go bookmark. Bookmark. V programming lang. Yeah, I need to check out Joule too from Adam. Be interesting. What's JAI? Jonathan Blow. He's the game dev, isn't he? But I don't think he likes working on teams or something. I can't remember what's Jonathan Blow's thing. Oh, that's right. That's the guy that hates open source. Oh, that's, God bless. I remember. That guy's insane. And I mean that in a good way. But yeah, he's totally off his rocker, man. He's an insane person. He hates open source, but he wants to open source JAI. Hey, whatevs, man. He just had, you know, I think he hates open source because he just hasn't found a good way to monetize open source. That's that's probably his deal. Yeah, he'll probably find some kind of way. I just don't like closed source lock-ins, which is funny, but yeah. Who's your favorite insane person in a good way? Insane person that I admire in a good way. Like, I mean, this is kind of like not really related to programming or even tech, but like, I'm kind of obsessed with like Alex Honnold. He's a famous rock climber. He's insane, absolutely insane. But he just like, his brain's like broken, but in an amazing way. Another person, probably like Rodney Mullen, like an amazing, like essentially created like half the tricks in skateboarding. That guy's insane. Again, in a great way. Like, he's ancient at this point, like well into his 50s, and like half of his body is just completely broken, and he's just like, oh well, I'm just gonna keep skating, it's all good. Yeah, there's several people in different genres of like creative stuff that you have to be really creative in, that I like going, that person's brain is just completely different from everyone else's and absolutely insane, but just in an inspiring, in a great way. And I love that. George Hotz, yeah, he's the original person that jailbroke the iPhone, right? Oh yeah, Magnus. Yeah, he brought Magnus out on that cliff in like Las Vegas, and just, man, Magnus was sweating. He was gripped as hell when he was doing that climb. It was hilarious. But I was also like white knuckling all of the way too. So absolutely insane. Even if you don't like climbing at all, watch that video. It is, and Magnus is like world class, like just an amazing athlete. Was one of the best climbers in the world, and then like he was just like absolutely like but I mean, there's no way I would even bother to do it. I think I was watching an interview with Alex, and he was getting interviewed by Tosh Point oh, or whatever his last name is, and he was like, oh yeah, Alex was like, yeah, I took my 60-year-old mother and we did El Cap together. And I was like, holy crap. And then like Tosh is like, oh, I can't even climb, I'm intimidated by climbing gyms. And then Alex is like, I'm sure I could take it out to El Cap, you'd be fine. And then he was like, well, obviously we still need to do like a couple weeks of prep work there. But I was like, what? No. that is crazy. Yeah, I know. It was crazy. So great though. Yeah, Daniel Tosh, that's it. Yeah, I couldn't remember that. His first and last name. But yeah, that's a good interview if you ever want to watch it. It's pretty funny seeing him go back and forth. Yeah, so cool though. I love seeing that type of stuff. It's just so inspirational. I think it's always good. Yeah, just people that have that way of just like breaking the norm and just saying this is impossible. Anybody that looks at it goes, that's not doable, and then being able to like just act like it's nothing and then go do the thing that no one else has ever done. I'm obsessed with that personality where it's like, wow, what a crazy person, but man, I love it. I love that thing. Yeah, so good. No, you saw him do a set at MSU. Oh, that's awesome. In the case of Windows 11 news, if you haven't seen, OOB local account is still doable, but through editing registry. Okay, Fluffy. I mean, I always know there's like a workaround to it. We could do a... do we have... Actually, now that you say that, that gives me an idea. We could write our own. For those Windows, poor peasants stuck on Windows. Let's just see. Now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, changing the kernel. That's another thing I meant to do. Yeah, Prague, they're getting rid of that. They got rid of bypass NRL, and I believe they're getting rid of local only. In the latest preview build, they said they were getting rid of both. We can create it, though. I think we could probably just make it. I'll make a script or something for folks. Yeah, let's just go shut down, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. No, I mean, IT folks will typically just use unattended anyways, lazy dev, so it's not that big a deal. Yeah, you can do links. Let's see. From what you've seen. Well, yeah, we opened it up. I heard the news. Yeah. Disconnect from the internet. Well, you could just do NCPA, disable your network card, F10, go here, bypass. Then it's just doing a restart. Geesh. Unattended XML. This is getting disabled. Yeah, that's getting disabled. Probably the best way to do this, I would think. Let's tinker with this just a bit. I got a couple ideas kind of rattling around in my head. Let's go 25H2. I probably should grab the preview build that has everything disabled. It doesn't matter though. They're not gonna patch this out. Let's go here. 60. Let's go Win 11. Test. Let's customize. Finish. Let's dump this NIC. Let's add a pass-through NIC. We'll pass through the 2.5 Realtek. Yep. And change our topology. Let's go 4 and 2 threads. And what else do I want to do? Let's go TPM. Do I want to do emulated? Nah, I think I can pass through my TPM actually. Actually, nah. Let's just do emulated. All right. Yeah, I'm thinking just go next. This is going to be the official one I downloaded yesterday. And we'll just go 65, do our install. Now, this is going to be the official Microsoft method without micro-in or anything. So it's going to be kind of meh. Unless they change the installer again. I hope they changed it again, because the last install I did from stock was just atrocious. Who took over Microsoft? A bunch of morons, that's who. Keeping your system activated. You don't need that. You can just do any kind of MAS activation script to keep your Windows activated. Minecraft license. Oh, yeah, the Minecraft license is probably going to be a little bit tricky. Although, I thought there was a workaround for that. I guess unless you're... Well, do people still use Bedrock? I think not everybody's still using Java. Like, Java's always been the way to go for Minecraft. It's been years since I played, so I can't really tell you. My daughter kind of outgrew it. Took me 5 hours to update 25H2. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. What was the open source variant of Minecraft? Okay, so Java Edition now requires Microsoft account too. Wasn't there's a FOSS Minecraft in there? Mine Test, that's it. I imagine more people would probably run to that. Mine Test has been around forever. No, I don't think there's a new Windows Server corresponding with this release. The last Windows Server I thought was based off of... I thought it was 24H2 actually. Usually it goes every couple releases. Man, they changed their name to Luante. God, leave it to a FOSS project to just pick the worst name possible. Like, hey, we don't want any users of our project. Let's just first have an okay name. Mind Test. But what's a way worse name than that no one will ever know what the hell it is? Let's go with that. That's like every single FOSS project maintainer. It's like they hate users. They're like, oh god, people are actually using our product. How do we make that not happen? It was like Debian for the longest time, like hiding their downloads. Christoph, how's it going, man? Doing well here. Okay, YouTube's doing Classic Cube. I've never heard of Classic Cube. Yeah, I think last time I did Minecraft, I was using Prism. Prism was pretty feature rich. Before Prism, I think I was using Multi-MC for a little bit. I thought Multi-MC was pretty well done. can't remember if there's any others. No, while Windows updating, you could play a full episode of a TV show. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know why the 25H2 update was insane. Like when we did the in-place update yesterday, I think half the stream, like an hour and a half of the stream, was us just waiting for it to complete. And then when we did the micro win install of 25H2, that went off normal time, about like, what was it, 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes for the full install. It wasn't bad at all. I always use QEMU Prog. It's always the best for virtualization software, I'd say. QEMU can, when you know how to properly configure QEMU, it's really easy to do like pass-throughs of specific hardware. You can do just so much with it. It's so great. I absolutely love it. It's hard for me to use any other virtualization software nowadays. All of it just seems like crap in comparison, which is hilarious because it's completely free. No, the QEMU Windows version sucks. Don't use it. If you're on Windows, you're pretty much using Hyper-V. VMware Workstation used to be a pretty good option, but it kind of went downhill after Broadcom got them. VirtualBox, you know, for hobbyists and people that don't really know much about virtualization, that would probably be okay for you. I hate it though. I think it's just slow, cumbersome, and not well done. And it's owned by Oracle, so I kind of hate it for that too. Just everything about it I despise, but I understand that's probably the most popular option for most Windows peasants. Hyper-V is currently broken on my current install. Ugh. Yeah, Qualcomm acquiring Arduino. I've heard about that. I will say the installer is slower than prior past. Hopefully they fix that like initial startup where it would be like connecting and then it would take forever. That would be hilarious. I kind of want to try something on this live stream that I don't think probably most people know about, and I think it will work to bypass everything. I really don't like using the bypass NRO where you have to shut off your internet. I'd prefer something a little more streamlined than that. And I think I can, I think I know a command to get us through. I doubt they blocked it because it's like baked into every Windows version from 2000 and onward. So it's been in Windows for 25 years. I couldn't see, I doubt even the new guys at Microsoft even know where the hell this is. So I don't think they can do anything to block it. And even if they remove the command, the shortcut command, they probably could figure out where that's at and remove it. I'm already thinking of a workaround to that. We could directly access the shell and launch it through there. So I don't think they can ever take it away, so to speak. And I think they're too incompetent to remove it completely from any Windows install. So I think I got it. I think I got a better way. Linux Day looks inside no Linux. While that's going. Did this ever update? Oh. Did we not update the getting started? I was like, that link should have worked. Still working there. Oh, I only gave 8 gigs. Oh, that's right. I should have given 16. My bad on that. Google Chrome's what I've been using. Sad to say. Oh. Yeah, I gotta love social media at 0. It's awful. I will say it does feel like the general populace has gotten dumber. I feel like the grind of the news cycle and social media itself has just kind of made everybody stupider. All right, here we go. What do we got? Skip. Now in Pro, I don't think they ever remove it. On Home, I think I should have done Home on the install. Did I select Pro? Does anybody remember? Oh, no. This is going to want to do the updates, isn't it? No. Okay, it's fine. Test. Yeah, sure, whatever. Oh, no. It's going to do that. All right, let's see. Did this update? It still didn't work. Dang it. Means my Cloudflare. Oh, no. This might be my GitHub instance, actually. Let's go DWM, Titus, docs. Let's go actions. Oh, okay. Here we go. It's building still. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, there it goes. If you go work school, you should still be able to just domain join. Yeah. Yeah, so this would work. All right, let's pretend like this didn't work, though. Even better, use an online account. How about, what if, my idea behind this, let's use an old shortcut. What happens if we're in here? Is this gonna get grayed out or blocked? Yeah, this isn't gonna have access to the local install probably. Maybe, let's see. What if we just do create, and then let's just go administrator, admin. No. Let's go groups. Okay. Members of users, but administrators. Okay. Let's just, it did autocomplete failed. It's fine. Let's apply that. Then let's just take this default one, delete it. Yeah. And then the subscribe. Let's see if this breaks it. So let's go shut down. Timeout of 0. Let's just go with the restart. The idea here is set up a different user other than the default 0. And maybe it'll skip the out-of-box experience. Bypassing the entire thing. Not quite. Yeah, it's still not working on that front. I think I might I'll just make a script that identifies all the registry keys that gets added for the out of box, and then we're just gonna bypass the whole damn thing. Because all of this would be there. Okay, that finished. Now let's go dwm.titus. Still nothing. Come on, man. Why didn't that work? Let's serve it. So what's happening? Let's go localhost. Well, this worked. Maybe my cache is just out of date or something. And then you can go super key. Boom. Learn all the keybinds. Okay. Name your device. Cached. Oops. I broke it. I think I got an idea though for this to completely bypass it. I think I'll make like a script to write all the registry keys needed and then skip the entire OOBE, which should be relatively easy to pull off. Yeah, that's fine though. Let's just force reset. Yeah, you could do wait, the XAML, can you apply it at the screen, AJ? I don't think I've ever done an unattended that hadn't been preloaded on the ISO. So we wanted to do it from a start
I
ISO.
know a lot of super people, so
Arda, thanks for becoming a YouTube member. Yeah, bypass NRI is just a CMD file. So you could just add that in and just run it direct. That wouldn't be a problem. Like if you look at the bypass NRO script, like this is just a simple CMD script. I don't particularly care for it. Could just do it this way, CD. Let's just make a new, we're just gonna write a script real fast, just so people stop bugging me. Let's go add the user cd OOD. Select the right account at the bottom of the left hand screen. You should have one for administrator or whatever you use for username. Let's hope simple OOB stays. I think we could do something here. Let's just make a new repo. Anyways, this did work. I don't know what happened there. Let's come back to GitHub. Let's make a new repo. We'll make it public. We'll go get gh repo create bypass NRO, and we'll make that public. Let's repo clone bypass NRO.
I know you know a lot of super people, so
Cool CD bypass NRO. Thanks, Adam, for becoming a YouTube member. Bypass NRO. And then from here, let's just do it. We're going to make it a CMD file. Let's go mvim bypass. Just make it bypass.cmd. Boom. Let's go here. We're gonna go net add. I think that's pretty good. And then shut down R T0. Great. Let's go yank G. Yank G. All right. I want to bypass OOBE in Windows 11. Here is my CMD script. Oh, I didn't make it. All right, well, whatever. I think this should be fine. Must run elevator, that's fine. So we're adding remarks, basic admin, check. Create local user. Add to administrator, skip OOBE. All right. Enable auto login, default user, password 1. Auto admin login 1. I get it. So here's using an example. How would we do the provisioning? So you'd add it to it's an interesting idea though. Almost prefer to do the OOBE approach with the XAML or XML. I've never actually done XML directly during the OBE, but I mean, given what they're doing, I think at this point we probably should look into that. Okay, and then run sysprep OOB unattended reboot. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Is there any way we could do that where it specifies the user with the OOBE, but also fills in all the other crap? It's a nice idea. Ooh, I like that. So we could just do it in the Panther folder. Okay. Blank the password, no auto login. Should be fine. Okay, make the XML, but no password. Just make the username user. And machine name can be random. This will randomize everything. I think it should be fine. It'd be funny if GPT like made the password actually say no password. I'd laugh so hard. Okay. Hide EULA. Work, protect, yep. Skip machine, skip user, true, true. Blank password. Okay. User, admin, done, done, done. Offline image. Okay, that looks pretty good, actually. So let's copy that. Let's paste this in. Let's write this as unattend.xaml. Save that out. And we're going to delete this. We're going to go a different method. Great. Now, for CMD, to download the XAML from a GitHub repo, what command is best for CMD usage? I always use like IRM or invoke broad request, but it's going to want a curl. Oh, it uses curl by default. I forgot they added curl. Holy crap. How cool. That's right. Curl was added. I remember when Windows Defender, the curl creator, like just got so pissed at Microsoft because Windows Defender flagged it as a virus, and then everyone started like mass Mass sending messages to him, accusing him of being a hacker. Oh man, he was so pissed at Windows people. It was kind of funny. But also I kind of relate to, like I had when I did my last update to my toolbox, there was a bunch of flags where people were like super mad. And I was like, man, come on. All right, so we're gonna grab the unattended. That's gonna be raw GitHub. I think I can actually get away with just going, I could do it in a release. Yeah, anyways. Tech. Actually, I think I can just do all lowercase. Let's go bypass NRO. So then we're going to grab that unattended after we curl it and output it. We won't need to copy it. We'll do the sysprep under that, reboot, skip the entire OOBE, then give the middle finger to Microsoft. I like it. And then for the bypass, first publish. Okay. And if we look at one more bit, yeah, whatever. To run a CMD file direct using curl from CMD. So we do a -L. Okay, I need to shorten that up. Could do like an alias for the web address. Just something like when you're just setting up something, you can just type it in and go. We'll go ahead and just do the long form here, but I'll have to make an alias so people can remember it. All right, so we got that and that. If we look at the unattended, let's make sure the raw file's in the right spot. Bypass in a row, refs, head, unattended, a little bit off. Okay, that's fine. Now we curl all that into here, then we do the unattended sysprep. I think I can just go. We'll just curl it and then it should be fine. I don't really like that though. Let's do a release actually. It's just so that it's not so ungodly long. I don't want to type all that in. Sorry, I went down a completely different path here, guys. I just wanted to, like, everyone keeps talking about this, and I was like, well, we're just an easy fix. An easy fix. Bypass, CMD. OOBE, CMD, V 0.1. A new method for bypass. Made for 25H2. We'll just recreate that, and we will be done. Alrighty. Let's just publish that. Let's go 0.1. Create that release. Then we just go github.com, christitus.com/bypass NRO. Release, we'll go latest. And then that. So if we go bypass NRO release and just go latest, it'll automatically do that. So then if you're here, you go latest /bypass.cmd. So the full path will be github.com/christitus bypass NRO /release latest bypass.cmd. Did not like that. Can I do release? Releases download latest? I don't think that'll work. That doesn't seem right to me. Damn it. What's the short? I just did it in my... Here, I'll just check WinUtil. I kind of do something like that. Your polybar config seems to be in .local share. Are those files pushed to repo by any chance? Yeah. They're in DWM Titus. So let's go WinUtil. And then in WinUtil, we will know right away because how did I do this? All right, so we just got PS1 over here. Gravy. But if we look at how I do the signature... We got WinDev and but it yeah. What did I do for it? I guess I just made like a window rule in Cloudflare. Damn it. All right, 1 second. Yeah. All right, we're going to do this. I hate how Cloudflare displays like, oh, I don't want to feel like doxing myself. So I'm going to have to sign into Cloudflare, look at the rules. I'll go ahead and create a rule for bypass NRO because I guarantee you Microsoft's going to close this loophole. We're just going to make an entirely new one just because they're so stupid. They're so dumb. Yeah, I don't like the raw URL. So what we're gonna do is bypass that entirely. We're gonna do a full release, so then we don't have to rely on the raw GitHub URL. Raw GitHub URLs have a higher chance of getting blocked, and also it's a longer URL. So I don't like that. And I believe we can do a release and then we can use a shortcut key that'll auto update itself. So then if I need to update the script, should Microsoft adjust something, I'll be like, no probs. It just auto gets updated. So then nobody's the wiser that I had to update it in the background, including Microsoft. So I'm just looking at my page rules here and see exactly how I did that. God, if I tell you, half the time I make a lot of my shortcut guides just because I always forget. Like, damn it, how did I do that? Oh, okay. Yeah, releases, latest, download, and then whatever's okay. I'm going to create a new page rule. We're going to call this bypass. We're going to call it christitus.com/bypass. And then we're going to go forwarding URL, permanent. And then we will go github.com/Chris Titus Tech bypass. It's kind of funny we're using Microsoft's GitHub to do this. You know, when in Rome. Now I'm gonna just double check on my release here. I'm gonna get off this screen here in a bit. I'm almost done. I just want to write this out. All right, releases latest. Actually, latest download bypass.cmd. That worked. All right, good. Test worked. Download bypass.cmd. Perfect. Option. Yeah, I'll put it first, sure. Save and deploy. Okay. We're good. All right, we're back. So instead of all this long download stuff, I created a page rule, an alias that I control through Cloudflare. So then we can just, anytime we need it, we can just go christitus.com/bypass. And this will download the bypass CMD. Boom. And then it's just right there. Oh, nice. And then this is what's in the bypass CMD. We're grabbing the unattended XML, which I'm just going to double check on that. It should be fine curling that. And then we'll sysprep using it all in one go. So really, I think we can pipe the entire thing. I wonder if I could just pipe it directly into CMD. I've never piped. It doesn't work the same way as Unix shells because CMD is STD. Gotcha. Won't work in pure CMD. Yeah, you have to output it and then write it because they suck. Although we could do it through, but launching PowerShell is just one more step. It's fine. I was just wondering if we could just do a one-liner. Not this way. All right, cool. Oh, this never booted, did it? I think we got to wipe it out. God, do I have to do it again? Why is the word viewers blocked? Because there's a bunch of spammers that would come in. And then they'd be like, hey, we need to, would you like viewers? Go to our website. And I was like, no, I don't. Okay, cool. So we got this. So now we could go curl -l. And then we're going to go christitus.com/bypass. We don't have. Let's try it again. Okay. So this is the curl. God, I wish I could pipe that, but whatever. So we got to do an output to skip.cmd. So then we'll have, oh, that's right. Can we just do skip.cmd? All right, Windows could not parse or process unattended answer file. The answer file is invalid. We detected an error on line 35, column 11 of the answer file. What's on line 35? Jippity made a mistake? What? Oh, yeah. Let's just... line 35 error. Actually, let's just get unattended. SAML. We'll just download it. All right. Yeah, we'll just let Windows generate it. We'll try and make this language agnostic as well.
The dude binds.
For some reason, the browser... One second, I can get all that. Chris, I'm using Windows, but for some reason, the browser I'm using, Zen, it's Firefox based, keeps crashing. I would say probably update. Worst case, reinstall. You don't necessarily have to uninstall Zen. You could probably just install what you got right on top of it. Make a whitelist for viewers to say such things. Could. I think it was just a... I don't think there's a whitelist and a blacklist. I think they just have banned words. Here, I'll allow it here, though. Try to run WinUtil right after reinstall of Windows 11? Yeah, I would. That's the whole reason I built the utilities, so I wouldn't have to do very many tweaks. Yeah, no. It's just like I have certain rules that they get caught in auto mod, and then auto mod you can hit allow to allow them. If you were a mod, it wouldn't block you. I don't think. Yeah, probably not. All right, so let's fix this XAML file and actually just make it with this. I've used this tool forever. It's been around for a century. It's fine. Let's just use generic. That's fine. This might be a little too in depth for what I need, though. Okay. That's kind of cool. This OOB is going to be a little bit crazy, but that's okay. Okay, we're almost there. Close.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Nyko, thanks for the prime. Okay, disable all the express settings, lock key, sticky keys. Yep. We're close to the end. We're right there. We're like about 20% left. Remove bloatware. Sure, why not? Is there anything in here that people want, though? Oh, Windows Terminal. Your phone. Some people like that crap. Snipping tool. Calculator, I guess. Clock. Nope. All this is pretty much crap. My God. All right. Yep. Let's go. Yeah, we left snipping tool, calculator, clock, Windows terminal, and phone. Yeah, some people use it. I took it out one time and people like had a conniption fit over it. I was like, fine, I'll put it back in. A couple people use it. Wait, you need paint? Oh, damn it. Who uses paint? I thought that was just like a pirate software thing, and that was the only person using paint in the world. Okay. Damn it. Okay. I'll put paint 3D on there. Lame. But alright. Paint. Guys. Old paint was good. Paint 3. There is no paint anymore, guys. They removed it. All you got's paint 3D. Oh, wait. No, there's paint. Oh, never mind. Sorry. My bad. I use paint. Oh, God. All right, Galaga. I'm putting it back in. Alrighty. All right. Let's just go download. Okay. Now I'm gonna look at this in, let's just go to workspace 4. So here is our current setup. All right. Like that. All right, it's just a PS1 file to run afterwards. A couple different ones. That's good. First login. All right, that looks fine. Yeah. I think this will work. It's a little more involved than I anticipated, but I think this is going to give a better experience for folks anyways. Copilot is thinking. Nice. Thanks, Copilot. Thanks, Copilot, for helping me remove Copilot. All right, cool. With that up to date, let's do another skip. What do we have, old Microsoft? I think this is looking pretty damn good, y'all. All right, let's see what happens. So you're gonna set this up. Should skip a huge chunk of this though. Yeah. Screw you, Microsoft. Eat it. Yeah, man. That's the ticket right there. Now there is like about 3 different PowerShell scripts that are running in the background to strip out a bunch of crap. So this isn't technically how I would go about doing it, but people are going to love it. Especially if they just get to the screen and like, I don't want a Microsoft account. They can just type a couple, well, it'll be 2 lines in. You got to do a curl and then you got to do a run. Let's see how I probably could button this up a little bit. Make it as easy as possible. But pretty much, yeah, it's just 2 things you'll run to completely bypass it. Yeah, microwind's still a way better way of doing it. Like, what this is doing, essentially, is we're taking the absolute stock Microsoft ISO, direct from Microsoft, Microsoft.download. We're taking it. We're installing all of the crap, Copilot, all of the junk, right? And then when it gets to start and set up your PC, it goes, well, before we do anything, Microsoft, here's a whole bunch of settings and 3 scripts that I want run that is created that will strip out and clean most of the system and then spit it onto the desktop. You still see there is some remnants of some of the other crap, like we go all. Let's see what's left. We got calculator, clock, Copilot's there, Clipchamp, news. Now, do we still have anything running in the background? Oh, wait, I think it's going through and cleaning it. We'll know when if anything in here disappears. Let's take a look. Give me what's happening. I mean, it's pretty good. It bypasses everything. And then also kind of cleans up a few things as well. It's not not like the perfect starting spot, but it's a hell of a lot better than having to deal with Microsoft accounts and all the like. That's nice. And it has paint. Yeah, it's still nasty, don't get me wrong, but at least it's somewhat fixed up. So if we look at it, let's go test, delete. We're gonna delete that. Let's do a fresh install. One more, you know, for a good measure, so everybody sees it. And this time I'm giving it 16 gigs of RAM. We'll fix that count. Let's go 65, Win11 test, customize, next. Remove this NIC card real fast. We're gonna pass through our own NIC card. Get that 2.5 Realtek passed through. Oh. Yes. And then we're going to change the topology, just maximize our usage. Heck, let's go 6. We're going to go super speed here. I don't want to be waiting around. And let's go. Now, this will actually fail. 1 second. Ah, dang it. Force off. 1 second. Ah, I'm such an idiot. Gosh. No, we forgot. Why is this vertical all of a sudden? Anyways. TPM2. Okay, cool. Yeah. We're good. Never mind. Disregard. We're good. Yeah, still use micro-win. I just wanted to give an option to people that don't want to and just want to use the stock experience. So we'll just say this. It makes me wonder, though. Let's do home this time. I hate home. Don't recommend ever using home. But again, for the poor peasants out there that are stuck on home because that's the only thing they have, let's pretend to install it home this time. Blech. Gross, but hey. We're going to go that route. And then we're going to test our Meltel. But for those people that forget to use micro-win or don't want to use anything, still got you. Oh man, I felt bad for all the Apex players out there that were using Linux. Just totally got shafted.
The dude abides.
Microsoft needs to be took up by court by the competition and market authorities and UK equivalent FTC and be split up. Man, they've tried so many times. Microsoft's too big now. They have a higher just revenue stream than governments, entire governments. They're bigger than a lot of countries' GDP. How do you break up a $4 trillion company? I think is what they are now. It's insane. Like, they own all our lawmakers and they're based out of America. So, I mean, they ain't going anywhere, man. They are de facto leaders at this point. We can only work around them. You remember those old Windows 7 starter editions? Yeah. I really loved. You guys remember the Windows specialized? This was like the home feed or the home editions. I think it was like home server edition. That was a lot of fun back in the day. Yeah. Well, a lot of people are still stuck on old home. So I don't, that's why I like testing it all. Making sure that everybody gets at least a good experience somewhat. Oh man, the Atom CPUs, netbooks. Remember the netbooks? Those were pretty rough too. Yeah, the Media Center edition. That's what I was thinking, AJ. Gosh, that was crazy back in the day. I mean, it was super jank to set up and it was kind of a pain to like manage the metadata, but it was still so much fun back then. It was like the era of discovery and it was fun. I enjoyed it. It's terrible for managing media, but when you got it all working and you had that interface, people like, I remember people coming over to my house and seeing me load up the Media Center and they would be like, whoa, dude, that's insane. How? And now like everyone has like Plex and they're just spoiled rotten. And I'm like, man, back in my day, we had to manage all the metadata. We downloaded the posters and added the synopsis to everything. It was so terrible. Yeah, Media Center, it was XP. It was XP, Dan. Oh, man. Companies can be broken by governments, but governments, yeah, it depends. Like, I don't know. Just seen so much corruption over my lifespan. So I'm just kind of like, hopefully, you know, hope for the best, plan for the worst is always my motto. Yeah, them removing mechanism for creating local accounts. I imagine they'll be able to push that through, specifically because the local accounts in Microsoft still run off of the Sam Hive archive. So let's say I wanted to be devil's advocate here and say everyone should use a Microsoft account. Let's say Microsoft, like, Titus will pay you $5 billion a year. But you gotta make the sale pitch for us on how to get rid of local accounts. It'd be really simple. Microsoft Windows has the Sam Hive archive that's been exposed for decades at this point. It's really easy to hack any Windows version because once that's exposed, you can disable and enable, blank out passwords, everything from just a live boot, right? So if you can live boot a USB disk, you can add and create and remove local accounts. So I would say, hey, we had to remove local accounts because of this giant security flaw. We didn't want everybody getting hacked. So the way we did it was to make it all online. I don't want to give any ideas to the C-suite up at old Microsoft. I don't think they're smart enough to tell people this. But that's how I would sell getting rid of local accounts, because the local accounts are very insecure. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Still doesn't make it right. They still should put in the time to make them secure. But I mean, it's Microsoft. They don't want you to use local accounts, and they're too stupid to, I think, remove it. So it's like, I will remove the command. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We're 50% there. Media Center is worse than Cody. Yeah, absolutely. Ugh. We were only talking about physical access to the computer. It cannot be the same thing be done in Linux these days, booting into single user. Prog... it depends on how you set up the system. So what you could do is lock down the bootloader and then set up encryption using like Luke's or whatever your encryption method you want to use. And then you absolutely can't access that. So Linux has ways of securing it down. Having said that, though, you're absolutely right. Most people don't encrypt their drive, and they have the bootloader exposed, so they could just go on boot in grub, hit E for edit, go in there and type single, or that you could just go shell equals bin bash and then go into a bash shell and set your own password. So you could crack into many stock Linux installs because people just don't know how to set them up right. But if you actually have someone with some skill, they're going to encrypt it and they're going to lock down the bootloader, and then you're never getting into that. You're just not. Where Microsoft, well, I mean, you could... Trying to think, if you do a BitLocker style thing using Microsoft, just to be devil's advocate here, and you boot into the system from a live ISO, you know, if you use BitLocker, I don't think you could read it and do it that way either. Now that I think about it. I guess somewhere in my mind, I just think BitLocker is much less secure than Luke's, because Luke's completely offline encryption, where BitLocker, all the keys get uploaded to Microsoft.com. So to me, with all the encryption keys sitting in a global database somewhere. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me. I just feel like that's really insecure. They're still going to have access to that to unlock that computer to then change the SAM archive to enable like local user login. That's a lot of steps, but to me, it's still less secure than a Linux box because of that. And now that they've kind of spelled it all out, yeah. I mean, Windows is still more insecure, but I mean, it's not as open as I made it seem, especially if you're using some type of encryption. Yeah, there's the fear you can't save your own data if something goes wrong. That's why you don't encrypt your hard drive. Agreed, Peter. That's why I don't really encrypt mine, because I'm afraid I'm gonna, well, you guys know how much I mess up my system. Could you imagine? It would make my life infinitely harder. And I'm more worried of losing the data than I am someone breaking in and then stealing it. It's like, nah. Yes, MicroWin. We just updated MicroWin yesterday. I made the release stable today. So if you pull up the new one, you'll say 10.6 release, and that is there. I thought BitLocker was stored on TPM and it only released if the bootloader is signed. Am I misunderstanding something here? Yes. Yes, Tar. You know what? I don't want to dox myself, so I'm going to blank out my screen real fast. And, oh, actually, wait. Before we do that, we're right in the middle of reboot. I want to check to make sure this works on Windows Home. Yeah. But for those that need like secure, I think encrypting a drive is really almost mandatory for like laptops. I think laptops should be always encrypted because it's very common for them to get stolen, and it's something where all my laptops run drive encryption. Yeah, that would be a good video idea, Cell. Should do it. Need to update that. All right, just kidding. All right, maybe. While that installs, I guess. I'll wait for it to get to the start menu. Let's go over. I'm going to pull up where these keys are for BitLocker. If you go to Microsoft.com, I believe. I know you can't see my screen, but don't worry. I will show it once I know I'm not exposing my personal information, because I think I have some work stuff on here. Probably. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll find out. Let's log in. God, I haven't done this log in a minute. Nope. Two-factor, 1 second. Oh, God. Okay, now we're in. Gonna go to my Microsoft account. I think we can go into devices. And then I'm going to see. I think one of these devices, probably like a laptop or something, has some kind of BitLocker on it. And I'll show you where the key is. Let's see. Yep, there it is. All right, cool. I'm going to screenshot this and then just omit some of the more sensitive stuff here. right, and I'm gonna just save this, screenshots, BitLocker. And then I'm gonna close out of this Microsoft account, and then I'll show you. All right, we're going. Go into screenshots, BitLocker. Yes. Okay. So here's what you go. So if you go to Microsoft, your Microsoft account, you can see this is my junk account. This was a laptop I had back in 2022. Still has the keys and everything here. Device name, key ID, recovery key. And then what happens is if you log into that system and say, hey, I forgot my BitLocker, or let's say your secure boot gets messed up or whatever.
Set up your device using a screen reader. Turn on narrator by pressing Windows plus Control plus Enter. For more accessibility features, press Windows plus U, or select the accessibility icon in the bottom corner.
Okay. Yeah. All right, 1 second. Shut up, narrator. Okay. All right, cool. But anyways, yeah, that's where your recovery keys are. So if you ever do have like a BitLocker thing, it's easier to recover a BitLocker system where the keys are lost because they're all uploaded to the global Microsoft database. But since all the recovery keys are there, Microsoft could always access all your stuff, even though it's encrypted. So it's like, hey, I completely 100% trust Microsoft. They have all my recovery keys. So even if someone steals the laptop, but if Microsoft steals the laptop, or maybe law enforcement steals the laptop, they can always get those recovery keys from Microsoft, and then they can log in and then get your stuff. It was a Linux box with Luke's, and you're the only one that has those recovery keys, and you don't want to give them out to whoever wants to open your laptop. They ain't getting in. So that's my thing, my long-winded rant on BitLocker. All right, christitus.com/bypass. Then we do it lowercase o, output to skip.cmd. So that grabs it, and then we just do skip.cmd, launches it, it syspreps everything, bypasses all the shenanigans, even does a little bit of a debloat here. And it should leave your language and everything intact. This is the Windows 11 home test. Technically, this should work on all previous versions of Windows as well if you like this method. A run batch file from CMD, so you only have to enter one command. Yeah, the problem is how do you get the batch file on the system? So we're curling the CMD file directly into there. Now, if you want one command, we could just do 2 ampersands and then the skip. So all right, so there's our bypass NRO.
Set up your device using a screen reader. Turn on narrator.
All right, yeah, I got it. Okay. Here we go. So you do it all, you set your keyboard, you set your language, but this is where I take over.
Yeah, well.
Mojang, thanks for the tier 1, man. That worked really well. That worked really, really well. So yeah, I'll probably do it into one command for folks. We could try the one command shot on that. But I don't mind it. I think that's not bad. Yeah. And this way, I gotta tell you right now, they'd have a hell of a time blocking it. is this all just uses all official Microsoft tooling. I mean, it's not to say they can't, but I mean, they're going to screw over so many businesses in the process. So I don't think they can really. And this should just log us right into admin or user. Let's see what we get. Windows Titus is PowerShell script to install Windows. I mean, that's what MicroWin pretty much is. It pretty much installs it all for you. I mean, we could do an interactive script on the... We could do an interactive script directly on the install portion too. There's a bunch of stages we could take over and do things. So that's pretty much it. Let's go. Now let's go invim readme.markdown. Chris Titus text. Bypass in a row on steroids. Blah. From the OOBE screen. Enter Shift plus F10. And then curl. We're going to do -L christitus.com bypass output skip.cmd and then skip.cmd. Boom. This will skip the entire OOB process, including Microsoft account and any questions during the setup process. It still allows you to select your language, region, and keyboard layout. So you should still have all the locales and the stuff, so you'll still be able to set all that. But as soon as you get to where accounts and those types of things are needed, it should bypass all that. Good to go. I probably did a bunch of misspellings. Someone will correct it. Well, send me a pull request. Publish, bypass, workaround in 25H2. Get full, get push, ta-da, done. Another project in there. So then you got your new setup. You can just do the curl, skip CMD, and then just type skip CMD, and it'll skip everything. You don't have to worry about Microsoft removing it because you're downloading it directly from Microsoft's GitHub on my repo. So yeah, there you go. And this is the end result. There's still some bloat in here. Overall, did a pretty good job though. It's not bad. And then I would just run the WinUtil from your desktop and finish setting up everything. I would probably get rid of like weather and some of the other garbage here, but needless to say, Not bad. Oh, what Duo say? Shift F10 is better than Enter Shift F10. What did I put? Oh. Good call. Thank you, Duo. Oh, process? I'm sure it's like 150. I'm sure. Because that was not much of a debloat. That was just like a complete bypass of the machine. Let's delete this. Delete. Done and done. I may make a video about it. Because I know people are freaking out. And we're like, we're going to have to use Microsoft accounts. And I'm like, nah, there's always a way around. No worries. No worries. We got you.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Is it too much to ask to see a full 25H2 Golden Master Perfect build right now using MicroWin? Side quest, could you separate C Windows so that it's the only thing on the drive and put program files on D? Probably could do program files on D. I don't know. Best way to do that would probably be... There's a lot of different ways I would do it. But instead of separating out D, I might like mount a drive or something to D or symlink it. So then you still have everything in C program files, but it's not taking up C space. These days, though, I don't think I'd probably code that just because it'd be a pain in the butt and storage is so cheap. I don't see a point. But yeah, MicroWin's pretty much a golden build right now. The release just went stable today. I think, 2 hours ago in the stream? Somebody remembers. Yeah. Is it colon for that? Yeah, because it's not PowerShell. It's CMD, so it's a different language. So you got, I think it's 2 semicolons.
Click, I want to say, I know you know a lot
Mohawk,
of
thanks for
people, so
joining the YouTube members. Much appreciated.
thinking of me.
Yeah, so I mean, we had a bunch of thoughts, AJ, on bypassing that, and I was like, oh, I could manually do it. Then as I started manually doing it, I was like, this kind of sucks. So I was just like, let's just rewrite it. And then I was like, maybe we can just directly interject the OOBE with his XML file. And I was like, oh, well, that works. Let's just clean that process up and then just make it a script. And that's what we did. So then what we can do is just do these 2 commands right here, just from a fresh screen where it's like, hey, what world, where in the world are you? Are you in the United States, Algeria, wherever? Then you just press Shift F10, curl christitus.com/bypass into output of skip.cmd, and then just run skip.cmd. You're done. Then just fill in the questions as you normally would, and you won't have to worry about a Microsoft account. It will go ahead and exclude you from as much telemetry and all the questions that you normally would answer during the OOBE, and then spit you on the desktop with less crap in there. But I still probably would do a somewhat of a debloat. So there you go. Just messing around. I think I figured we could write something. I don't know. I just kind of wild hair there when someone kept bringing it up, and I was like, it's fine. Let's just write something now for folks. Shenanigans. Yeah, Schneegans. It was Schneegans. I always say shenanigans because I love the word shenanigans, but yeah, it was Schneegans. Schneegans is also a fun word to say. It's a cool name. Schneegans. Cody Wonders already did a poll request. Oh, man. So, yeah. We just finished bypassing, doing the bypass in a row. So worked out pretty well. It worked out pretty well, wouldn't you say, guys?
My gosh. All right. That was a good day. I think we're going to shut it down because we got a little bit of DWM documentation done. At least some progress. I mean, it wasn't much, but it was something. We did obviously the new bypass NRR script. We just wrote our own because screw Microsoft. We can do something better than what they can write anyways. So we did. Took about an hour or two, but we got there. Worked on LinUtil a little bit. Shout out, saw Adam again. He was one of the huge contributors behind the Rust-driven Linux utility, the LinUtil. He was one of the big programmers behind that. So he did a couple PRs for us, kind of brought some of that back in line, and that was great. I feel like there was something else there. I don't know. We've been streaming for a little bit, haven't we? It's so much fun. I love streaming. I probably should do a YouTube video eventually. Probably over this, what we did today. But I've just been so lazy lately. I'm just like, eventually I'll make a video. One day, but I don't know. I like the live streams better because then people can say, hey, I'm having this problem, and we can just go, cool. And we can do it, or we can be in the middle of programming something new like DWM Titus, which will be the premier desktop in 2030. It's going to be amazing. No DWM process. Peter's like, I was lied to. Thursday, DWM process for sure. I tell you what, we're doing DWM for Thursday for sure. We're going to have some process. I probably need to like notate what we're going to do though. Just not say that. Oh yeah, because we did do a lot of Windows. I don't know. We'll see. Make a video about Linux and encryption and passwords. Yeah, securing Linux, I think, is a definite video we need to approach, mainly because when it comes to Linux, a lot of people do set it up in a very insecure fashion. And it's kind of important to do it in a more secure fashion. Side note, Omarchi, when DHH set that up, he does set it up with encryption as default, which is very rare in the Linux realm. And I thought that was kind of interesting. So I would say how he sets up Omarchi is more on the secure side than most Linux distros, which is a surprising fact. Ubuntu also has encryption options on the setup, and it does a pretty good job out of the box, where most distros don't. Rare Ubuntu W. Anything else I missed today, guys? It was great. Now, I will say this about Omarchi. We're coming for you. DWM, better in every way. I just got to add the documentation to prove it so people can actually use the thing. But we're getting there. It's going to happen soon. Because right now people install DWM and go, how do you use this? So I think we'll get there. I think it'll be good. I'm gonna steal so many things from DHH's presentation. God, what a good presenter! Like how he presents it. With that, we're gonna steal a lot of that and get like, okay, we have to have a get starting. We have to have the manual, of course, which we've already kind of got all this outlined. We went ahead and got the hotkeys and everything put into DWM. So now you can just do super / and see the hotkeys. We're coming for you, DHH. We're coming for you. And hopefully there'll be some Windows people that try it out too, because it's just fun. Whether you're using Omarchi, DWM, whatever it is. I mean, I think the big thing I always like to impress upon people when it comes to Linux is very simple. I want you to have fun. Like a lot of people have forgotten when using Apple or Windows, they just don't have fun with the computer. And there is something about using what I do I have fun when I'm at the computer messing around, doing it. Maybe I'm just a giant nerd and I'm one of the few people out there that really enjoy this crap. But more often than not, you'd be surprised at how much fun you can have just using your computer, where you're not just like, oh, why did this giant $1 trillion company made these stupid decisions? I don't know. I don't want to sign into their service to get subscriptions that I have to pay for until the day I die. Ah, that's not fun. That's the opposite of fun. And that's where Linux kind of takes over. There's so many cool different avenues. So I need to do a better job. I'm sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained, but it would be fun. That's the fun thing. I just want to get out there, have fun. All right, till Thursday. Thursday we will DWM it up again. We're gonna push forward. We're gonna get more things. If there's any questions you have, save them up for Thursday, and I'll answer them. Unless it's about frickin' Microsoft and their login. Microsoft can just go die in a fire. I'm not doing it. They suck. I hate them. Good night. Goodbye. Have a fantastic 2 days. See you on